Good afternoon and welcome to Alumni Stadium in Dover, Delaware for today's MEAC Football Digital Broadcast Network on ESPN3, featuring the Hornets of Delaware State and the Eagles of North Carolina Central. Hello everyone, I'm Gary Lang. I'm joined by Mike Walker and we'll return to Alumni Stadium in just a moment.
Each team starts their
single game. They're playing to win at life because games end, but life keeps on going. The MEAC, educating student athletes for the game of life.
Alumni Stadium, get on your feet. You know what time it is.
DeLuca will kick off for North Carolina Central. DeLuca's kick makes it end zone for a touchback. 1st and 10 for your Hornets.
There's a foul on the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct. No fan official.
Starting quarterback for Delaware State, number 10, Josh McDaniels. Following an Eagle penalty is 1st and 10 for your Hornets. Ball on the 40-yard line. McDaniel's pass is incomplete. To Ron Selby, the intended receiver. 2nd and 10 for Delaware State. Ball on the DSU 40-yard line. Bryson Aline on the carry. Third down for Delaware State. It's 3rd and 8. Ball on the 42-yard line. McDaniel's pass is complete by number 12 to Ron Selby. 4th down for the Hornets. Jose Romo Martinez will punt for Delaware State. Hicks on the punt return. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. Your starting quarterback for the Eagles, number 2, Chauncey Gladwell. It's 1st and 10. Ball on the Eagle 27-yard line. Isaiah Toden on the carry. 2nd down for the Eagles.
Delaware State fans need to stop playing while Centra has the ball. Delaware State fans need to stop playing while Centra's under center. Delaware State fans need to stop playing.
When the approaching score marching band, please stop playing before the snap is set. Gladwell's pass is incomplete. 3rd down, 3rd down. It's 3rd and 10. Ball on the 27-yard line. Chauncey Gladwell on the quarterback keeper. 4th down. Penalty flag on the play.
Ball start. Number 8. Kick it. Your 4th down.
Following the penalty is 4th and 12. Ball on the 25-yard line. John Picaro will punt for North Carolina Central. Patrick Connors recovers the block punt.
Previous play, done with you.
Hey, go down to this field. He got it going on over there. I'm going to remember that.
I had to go through. You remember that?
I wasn't here. I was out of town.
By rule that it would be Delaware State ball where it was recovered by North Carolina A&T since it was fourth down and they did not recover it in an area.
Ball was tipped behind the line of scrimmage, recovered by North Carolina Central. They advanced to the 49-yard line. It'll be North Carolina Central's ball, first down.
First and 10. Ball on the Eagle 49-yard line. Caldwell is sacked by number 27, Justin Castell. Loss of yards, second down for the Eagles. It's second and 18. Ball on the 41-yard line.
In the shotgun.
Hornets recovers the football. First and 10. Hornets. It's first and 10 for your Hornets. Ball on the Eagles 42-yard line. Penalty flag on the play.
Also, number 7, offense. 5-yard penalty. Your first down.
His 47-yard on the offensive line. Don't know if the offensive line moved first or if the Eagles came across the line of scrimmage early. We'll find out here momentarily, though, as 4 officials pick up their flags and they move the ball back into Delaware State's to North Carolina Central's 47-yard line. So the Hornets will instead have a first down at 15.
Second down for your Hornets.
Daniels hands it off to Aline, who's hitting the backfield. Ball came out, but it should have been a dead ball. He was on the ground when it came out. There's a scramble for it, but a big loss on the play for Delaware State.
It's 2nd and 19. Ball on the 49-yard line.
These are the things that have killed Delaware State's offensive efforts. You know, it starts over the sides ball.
Jack McDaniels passes complete to number 81, Trey Gross. Move the chains! 4th and 10!
Hornets! Forward to the Delaware State 49-yard line. Completed pass out on the left side.
Ball on the Eagle 31-yard line.
Gross, wide receiver on the completion. Good yardage after the catch, too, up to the 32-yard line of North Carolina Central. First down, Hornets.
McDaniels passes complete to number 12, Teron Selby. 2nd down for your Hornets.
But he does enough to pick up the first down and get the momentum swing back.
McDaniels throws on the side to Selby. Selby makes the catch, gets hit immediately, trying to tear the ball out of his hands. Defensive back Anthony Sherrill.
2nd and 9.
Selby gets
Ball on the Eagle 30-yard line.
And they're already getting a little chippy out there. Officials come in and separate them, and other players come in and pull their own guys away.
I don't know if it's the slickness of the ball or the play itself, but they're struggling to get the ball to Selby out of that slot.
Bryson Aline on the carry. Kawan Cox on the tackle. 3rd down for Delaware State.
When he's out in space.
They'll make some yards after the catch. Daniels hands off to Aline. Aline gets through a little bit.
It's 3rd and 7. Ball on the Eagle 28-yard line.
It brings up 3rd down.
McDaniels pass is complete to number 83, Nasheen Woodard. Move the chains! 1st and 10! Hornets!
As he takes the snap from the gun. Little short pass into the middle, and it is complete.
Ball on the Eagle 19-yard line.
On the reception inside the central 20-yard line.
That's a nice successful catch on the shower with the situation.
Jack McDaniels pass is incomplete. Kawan Selby is the receiver. 2nd and 10 for Delaware State. Ball on the Eagle 19-yard line. Michael Quist Ike on the carry. 3rd down for Delaware State. It's 3rd and 9. Ball on the Eagle 18-yard line. McDaniels pass is incomplete. Penalty flag on the play.
Back to the line of scrimmage here. 3 receivers on the left side, 1 on the right side. Lone back in the backfield. He's there for blocking. Throw to the end zone. Look for it. And it is knocked away by the defender. We have a late penalty marker back at the line of scrimmage as we had a little bit of a dust-off going on between the 2 line units, offensive and defensive lines.
Looked like Savion Hopes might have been involved in that particular conversation.
The unsportsmanlike like conduct on Delaware State. This is a big 15-yard step off to put the ball back to the the central 33-yard line. Repeat, third down. They're down and 24 yards to go for Delaware State now.
That penalty might have pushed them out of field goal range, so now they literally have to try to pick up a first down on this play or get back in field goal range.
Back in field goal range if they can't get the first down. Ready to resume play here after everybody is set. McDaniels at the line of scrimmage, takes the snap, drops back, throws, complete to Teron Selby at the 10-yard line as he slides to end the play. Just a yard short of the first down. Now here's the question. Do you go for it on 4th and a yard? 4th and a yard, they're going to go for it. Apparently the field goal unit has not gone onto the field. They'll put 2 backs in the backfield. Bryant Dallas and Richard Harris in the backfield. And some movement on the defensive line. This could be encroachment to give Delaware State a first down.
Good discipline by Del State to hold his position even though North Carolina Central approached.
And it'll be first and goal at the 5 for the Hornets. Penalties early here in the game playing a factor. The give to Harris. He tries right side. Nothing there. Check that. That's Michael Chris Ike into the game for Delaware State. Tried to follow the flow on the right side. Just wasn't enough there. He's taken down. No gain.
They have high hopes for him. He's a big body. He's not a traditional running back that they've had the last couple of years. He's a small, stout, fire plug type of guy. He's a longer, bigger, stronger guy. And he's got great jets, too, when he gets to that second, third level.
Here's Ike in the backfield. They fake to him. Throw over the middle. Up high. Isaiah Williams, the tight end, goes up. Touchdown, Hornets.
Again, nice play action by Jack McDaniels on the play. That was the key to that play. He sold the run, made everybody have to come up and respect it, and he threw a nice touch pass to Isaiah Williams, crossing in the end zone for the touchdown.
Some extracurricular activity in the end zone right after the touchdown, and the penalty marker flew in the air. The officials conferring now, but that was after the touchdown, and that was a dead ball foul. So we'll see what happens here. It will be apparently against Delaware State. Trying to get the officials' call. Touchdown is good. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Hornets.
It's 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties.
The extra point is good.
Gary, just the hype of playing in this homecoming game. Guys clearly want to protect the net. They're maybe being a little bit overzealous. You have to be concerned.
The yardage will be assessed on the kickoff. The extra point kick is up, and it is good. Jose Romo Martinez makes it 7-0 for Delaware State. A rare lead this season for the Hornets, and on homecoming day, it's a good one.
Put together, Gary, that second possession, and this is what they need to be able to do. They took advantage of a couple of penalties, but at the end of the day, they got deep in the red zone, and they hammered the ball home. That's going to create a huge amount of momentum when that offense, because it's proven to them that, hey, we can move the ball against these guys. Now the defense wants to get back out there and see if they can cause a 3-and-out.
Now, I'll tell you what, Coach Rod Milstead was not happy with that second unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against his team. And as soon as he heard the officials' call, he turned around to one of the assistant coaches, and they had a little bit of a conference. One was listening, and Rod Milstead was talking.
Right, and he understands, like, look, I get it. Everybody's pumped up. Everybody wants to strike a blow for the university. But you know what? Your blows can't negatively impact us. And those penalties, again, they're hidden yardage. They actually create advantages for our opponents. So you have to be able to control that. If you want to take something out on somebody, you have to do it within the legal limits of the game.
American Spirit Federal Credit Union is a proud supporter of DSU on HSRN. Stop by one of their offices in Middletown, Newark, and Dover.
Timing is everything, Gary. It's homecoming. They know the importance of this game. They know if they're going to steal one, that this is the perfect situation. They might have caught a team that might have been looking past them at the worst possible time. They're homecoming. So if you're Delaware State, you got to be excited about the way your offense is playing right now, and you really got to be motivated to get your defense out there, because you want to see if this defense really has this North Carolina Central offense under control.
Jose Romo Martinez to kick off for Delaware State. After the penalty assessment, puts the ball back to the 20-yard line for the kickoff after that unsportsmanlike conduct call following the touchdown. Kicks it to the 23-yard line, right up the middle of the field, and finally a stack up there at the 40-yard line on a pretty good return. That was Chauncey Kennedy, a wide receiver for North Carolina Central, on the kickoff return.
There's a lot of energy and enthusiasm out there for Delaware State right now. You can tell that they're running high on the adrenaline of homecoming. Special teams, just a lot of impacts on the few special teams plays that I've seen. And I've always been one of those guys who looks at special teams to determine the temperature or the barometer of the game.
On first down, Caldwell rolls left, throws, incomplete, throws it out of bounds. He had some real pressure coming at him and had to get rid of that football as he heard the footsteps of the defensive end, Christian Johnson.
Combination of pressure and just good coverage by Delaware State University. Everybody was in position, and they didn't really give Caldwell an opportunity to find his second or third receiver.
No, immediately they were in there after him, and now Caldwell with pressure again throws the little out quickly, and it is complete to Isaiah Totten.
At all levels. I've seen it at the linebacker position, but the cornerbacks right now are playing very aggressive. They're coming up, and they're looking to hit first, cover second.
Third down and 14. Caldwell with a straight drop back, looks downfield, pressure there. He's sacked at the 35-yard line. Second sack of the day for Delaware State after recording only 3 previously in the season.
Looked like Lonzo Alexander and Brian Cavalcante both in on that sack. And, you got to credit the defensive line for creating that initial push and opening up those gaps. Right now, the front seven for Delaware State University is dominating this game.
John Piccaro at his 21-yard line to take the snap to punt it away on fourth down and about 17 for North Carolina Central. Hornets blocked one before, didn't work their way according to the officials, and this is a fair catch that'll be taken at the 35-yard line for Delaware State.
Bryson Eileen with an excellent fair catch call on that play. It's a slippery ball, Gary. And he did a good job of fielding that. Bobbled it just a little bit, but he's a pro back there. He knows what he's doing. He secured that and gave them great starting field position for this drive.
Now, we noted earlier Mike Waters, the leading rusher for Delaware State among yardage, is dressed and was on the sideline during the pregame warm-ups. He has not entered the game. He hasn't been in for any plays. And I don't see him on the sideline right now either. Yes, there he is. He just came out from behind another player. On first down, fake the handoff to Aline McDaniels up the middle for running by himself. And again, away from the action, a lineman and a defensive back get into it, and a penalty marker flies. McDaniels picked up about 7 yards on the play.
They might get Caden Crawford with the unnecessary roughness. Looked like he mowed somebody over after the play was over. Let's see.
So far, we haven't been too good on guessing the calls. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Delaware State for the third time.
Offsetting, so the ball's going to remain where it's at. Both teams hit with an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
It's not going over with head coach Rod Milstead either. He is letting some people know that has to change now. Running play around the right side. Bryant Dallas gets it out to the 45-yard line to make it 3rd and a yard. That offensive line is doing a job so far here for the Hornets today.
3 different running backs on this series.
They try again to go out over right tackle. It's going to be very close to the first down as they give the ball to Michael Chris Ike. He got it out to the 46-yard line, and it's a first down for the Hornets.
You know, it's a short gain, Gary, but now you start to see the benefits of running with a guy who's kind of lean, long, and heavy. After initial contact, all he does is just move the power forward about a yard, and that's enough to pick up a first down.
That's all they needed. They got it. McDaniels with 2 backs in the backfield. Hands it off on first down. Breaking through a hole is Bryant Dallas. Looked like they had him at the line of scrimmage. He kept the feet moving and got away and got down to the 44-yard line of North Carolina Central. It's another first down for Delaware State.
On his prior carry, he got hit by a defender and he lost his balance, and you could see him angry at himself. But this time he kept his balance and picked up huge yards to move the chain.
They go 2 backs in the backfield again. The give looked like Dallas. Check that. That time it was Michael Chris Ike. And as he got to the line of scrimmage, looked like he tried to cut through the hole. His feet slipped. That's that wet turf out there affecting it. So he gets only 2 yards on the play. He could have gotten more if he'd have stayed up.
You got to check his shoes, Gary, and make sure he's wearing the appropriate shoes for the weather conditions. It's an AstroTurf field, so some of these guys are actually going to play in sneakers more than they would want to play in cleats.
2nd down and 8. They go around the right side. Bryson Aline makes a spin move away from a tackler and finally is knocked out of bounds. The ball came out as he was going out of bounds. So it will be Delaware State ball at the 27-yard line of North Carolina Central, and another first down as the offense is moving today.
You know, that's the second leading rusher on the team. Talk about Mike Waters and his contributions. We could talk about this man's contributions all day. Not only does he run the rock on offense, but he's also the leading kick returner on this team and punt returner. So definitely a man of many seasons.
Fake the handoff to Aline. The pitch out left side. They'll just get back to the line of scrimmage on that as the defense was there to make the stop on Bryant Dallas. You know, Bryson Aline missed some time earlier in the season after suffering that concussion at St. Francis. So to have the kind of yardage he has, if he'd have played in all 7 games so far, he might be the leading rusher.
Right, and you know, he got it playing like a soldier on a kickoff return, running full speed.
2nd down and 10. They'll go to the air, throwing downfield. Incomplete. Hornets fans looking for a marker. It looked like Trey Gross might have been held up a little bit as he tried to make a move toward that ball.
Looked like a whole lot of contact on that pattern. I didn't know if he was pushing off or if he was being grabbed, but it didn't look like both his arms were swinging freely and had an opportunity, to grab that pass.
I was looking for the yellow flag to go on that one, but it did not. 3rd down and 10. Passing down for Delaware State. They'll have the lone back in the backfield with Aline. He's there to block, makes a nice block. They throw to the end zone, and it is just too far for Trey Gross on that one. Brings up 4th down and 10.
Not sure who the intended. I'm assuming Trey Gross was the intended target. I don't know if he was expecting Gross to break that off and run a post back towards the goal line, but Trey Gross faded down the sideline. That ball really needed to be put over his outside shoulder, but nonetheless, it is a completion in a 4th and 10 situation.
Offense stays on the field on 4th down and 10. Now McDaniels looks to the sideline, gets some signals. He goes back, steps to the line of scrimmage. Lets them know the play. Takes the snap. Drops back now, throwing right side, looking end zone. Double coverage there. It is a touchdown. Caught by Kwana Kali. Had to take it away from the defender in the end zone.
That man would not be denied of his touchdown. When that ball hit his 2 hands, he's the first one to know he was going to score a touchdown. That's just a great individual effort, Gary. The ball was put up in a situation where either the defender or Kwana Kali could have had it, and Kwana decided, this is my touchdown.
After not catching a pass last week at South Carolina State, Kawanakali with his first touchdown of the season. Jose Romo Martinez, kick, extra point is good. There's 1:40 left in the first quarter here at Delaware State University. We have a timeout on the field. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of choice, and ESPN3.
Feels like a champion because he's eating tasty, protein-powered, wonderful pistachios.
Delaware State leading 14-0. The kind of intensity we haven't seen from these Hornets this season on either side of the ball is paying off.
Right, and you know what? I like the emotion that I'm seeing out of Delaware State right now, and I think they're going to have what it takes to protect the lead. You can tell that the offense wants to actually get back out on the field, and so does the defense. And whenever you have that dynamic going on, you have the right attitude across the team.
This kickoff sails down to the 6-yard line. It'll be returned right up the middle as Delaware State's defense right there, the special teams making the stop close to the 25-yard line on the kickoff return by Chance Kennedy. Delaware State's defense has been playing havoc with Chauncey Caldwell, the quarterback for North Carolina Central, here this afternoon. They just haven't given him time to set up and throw in that backfield.
Christian Johnson, Isaiah Williams, and Moses Dupree have done a pretty good job. That three-man front has done a good job of providing penetration for Del State.
They'll hand it off on first down, run around the right side, breaking a tackle and then running into a tackler is Isaiah Totten as the Hornets defense pushes him back. Gang tackling out there, everybody around the ball.
Right, there's a swarm going on right now, Gary. You can see everybody's excited about being out there, and that's important. That's what we haven't seen all season, this enthusiasm for each play. Right now, things are going Delaware State's way, and they're looking like a team that, knows how to defend a short lead that they have.
2nd down and 5 for the Eagles. Pass incomplete. And we're going to have a pass interference call. Xavier McCoy was the intended receiver, and the coverage man was all over him before the ball got there. He was kind of wrapped up around him. Not surprised to see that flag come out, Mike.
Trying to see what number they're going to hit him with, because it's hard to tell whether it was Keywan Selby or Nigel Bynum. 20 and 28, they look exactly the same.
Nigel Bynum.
Yeah, Nigel Bynum. He struggled this year with coverage, Gary. I mean, he's not the type of guy who's timid against run support, but he has struggled this season against some of the big wide receivers that he's had to face.
And he has a big one right there. So it is first down for North Carolina Central at their own 40-yard line. Caldwell hands it off on first down, run back up the middle. Good cutback move through the middle by Totten. He takes it out close to midfield, just short of the first down.
Totten squaring those shoulders up, hitting that hole, Gary, and it's all about his north and south game.
Hornets defense just getting set as Caldwell throws the quick out. It's dropped by McCoy. Xavier McCoy could have had the first down there and just dropped the football as it came to him. Again, a little bit of a low pass, but you catch that ball.
Again, I'm sure the elements are playing some role in both of these teams dropping passes that they should catch. It's a slippery ball, and again, there's a light mist of rain still in the game.
3rd down and just about a yard to go. They'll hand it off to Totten. Totten gets across midfield and has the first down for North Carolina Central up to the 48-yard line of the Hornets.
Delaware State, actually North Carolina Central doing a good job of taking what Delaware State gave them on that play, but that's a stingy defense right now. They're making them earn every yard that they pick up on their possessions. The defense for Del State is on fire right now.
The Eagles have been able to get a bit of a running game going, but that passing game just has been pretty much non-existent for them with this Hornet defense putting the pressure on. They get some pressure again, make the quarterback throw it way over the head of his intended receiver. Caldwell had to dump that one away and could barely see over that line coming in and just threw it up way too high.
E.J. Hicks would have needed to add another 15 inches on his vertical to even put a finger on that ball. That was just over his head. But right target, right decision, just not a good throw.
First quarter has come to an end here at Delaware State University. We're going to take a timeout. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports, and ESPN.
Tastiest width for lettuce. Freaky fresh, freaky fast, Jimmy John's. Now try your favorite on our new 9-grain wheat sub. Wheat yeah, freak yeah.
North Carolina Central as we begin the second quarter. Chauncey Caldwell has been held to 1 of 5 on passing, and that went for an 8-yard loss.
Great pressure by that up front, those 3 defensive linemen up front.
Second down and 10. Caldwell on the keeper, takes it around the left side, has a bit of an opening, takes it outside now, has the first down, and goes inside the 35-yard line of Delaware State.
Just showed you why he's the second leading rusher on the team. If you give this man an opportunity to run the ball, he's going to run it just like a running back. Matter of fact, he got injured earlier in the season because of his running style. This guy does not know how to hook slide. He's going to have to take a class on that. All he knows how to do is to run hard and try to steamroll people.
The Eagles had 34 yards of rushing in the first quarter. They hand it off, cutting back into the middle on the carry is Isaiah Totten. And when he made that cutback into the move, he picked up about 5 yards, but when he made the cutback move into the middle, he took a real hit.
Delaware State, they got to look to crowd that line of scrimmage, get that box all filled up. They need to have maybe crowded with almost 8 guys. They need to stop the run first and apply pressure at the same time.
Second down and 5. It's Totten again. He'll be hit, behind the line of scrimmage. Coming in there quickly, Jihad Niebauer. And he came out of nowhere from that safety position and leveled the running back.
He's a certified hitter. He loves the contact. Matter of fact, they had to calm him down because he's got 2 targeting penalties this year already. So he's missed some significant play because of the way he plays. But you see why. He comes up and he's about his business.
And he's calling the signals back there in the secondary on 3rd down and 5. Caldwell hit in the backfield, got away, threw the pass, complete, but it'll be short of the first down. Good coverage out there for the Hornets. Devin Smith making the hit to keep them from getting the first down after the completion to E.J. Hicks.
Good pressure by Justin Castell up the middle on Chauncey Caldwell. You know, Caldwell just showing you the strength that he has as a player. He took a big hit and still managed to throw a catchable ball out there. So just a great play, literally, by both teams.
6'3", 230-pound quarterback on 4th down and 2. He'll keep it and run around the left side, has a first down, gets down to the 15-yard line. 10, touchdown, North Carolina Central.
Caldwell on the quarterback keeper, just trucking around that left side. They did a good job of sustaining their blocks, giving him an open lane, and once he hit that second level, there was literally nobody there to bring him down.
Now, all 3 touchdowns in this game have been scored with teams moving toward the east, as this field lies east to west here in Dover, Delaware, on the campus of Delaware State University.
It's a nor'easter type of a wind out here, so it's blowing in multiple directions.
Adam Lippy's kick is up, and it is through the uprights. So we have 13:08 left in the first half. Breaking the action here, this is Delaware State University football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports, and on ESPN3.
9-grain wheat sub. Wheat yeah, freak yeah.
Back at Alumni Stadium in Delaware State University, the Hornets with a 14-7 lead here in the second quarter. They'll get the ball after the touchdown by North Carolina Central. They went 74 yards on 10 plays. All 3 touchdown drives have been 10-play drives. Hornets take the kickoff at the 6-yard line. Bryson Aline on the return for Delaware State takes it out and just across the 25-yard, driven out of bounds around the 26 or 27-yard line. We have a flag laying in the middle of the field at the 30-yard line.
I really love the way Bryson Eileen attacks his punts and his kickoff returns. He really understands that you have to do it with reckless abandon, and, that's very risky. And that's exactly how he got his first concussion of the season, hopefully his only, at St. Francis. And that was on returning a kick. Took a huge hit and remained motionless on the field for a couple of minutes. But he popped up. He knew who he was. He knew what the situation was. And
Hornets called for holding on the kickoff return. So it'll move the ball back now to the Delaware State 17-yard line. 10-yard penalty after the return. The Hornets now will try to go 83 yards to put some more points on the board. But they won't yet because we have penalty markers before the play can get underway. This is a false start on Delaware State. Move the ball back 5 yards, make it first down and 15 from the 12.
We're really a first and 10 type of a team. We don't really get yards in 7 and 8 yard chunks, so we can't afford to give away 5 yards at the beginning of any possession.
Jack McDaniels hands it off on first down. They run it through the middle. Penalty markers fly into the stack, and look at that run by Chris Ike. He just blew through people as tacklers tried to get a hold of him. He just put his head down and rambled.
But you see what happens when he has that initial impact or contact with a defender. He usually wins that battle, and he picked up all of the yards we lost, but again, it's another penalty.
Got a chop block there. They got Ernest Sellers, the offensive lineman, for it. That will cost Delaware State 5 more yards, back to their own 7-yard line, and it's first down and 20.
Sellers, the center, somehow got involved in the chop block, and again, just being over-enthusiastic, wanting to be involved in the play. We want everybody involved in the plays, but legally.
McDaniels stands just outside of the end zone, gives it to Chris Ike. He takes it outside right tackle. Good opening there, and he carries it all the way out to the 20-yard line. Got back a whole lot of yardage on that play.
He's an explosive runner, Gary, and he's yet to really control that explosiveness. Once he figures out, how to set blockers up better and how to read where guys are going to be positioned on the field, he's going to be incredibly dangerous to bring down. One tackler is not going to bring this man down.
And he is a freshman. He has a great future here. Handoff again. They go into the middle on this carry on second down and 7. Trying to pick up the ball carry. It was Chris Ike again on the carry. Got a yard on the play. Third down and 6 for Delaware State.
Huge third down for Delaware State. They need to continue this possession. They can't punt the ball away.
Jack McDaniels in the first quarter went 7 of 11 passing. Let's see what he does here on his first pass of the second quarter. It is complete. And the ball pops out. Looks like it may have been saved. Trey Gross caught the pass, got hit. A second player hit him. The ball went up in the air. Gross reached out with one hand and pulled it back in. But it looked pretty dangerous. Hornets ball, first down at their 38.
Huge third down by Del State, and great 2 catches on one play by Trey Gross. I don't know how it's going to show up in the statistics, but it is a great play.
He just gets one. Bryson Aline around the right side, up to the 45-yard line, spinning, getting away from a tackler and out to the 47-yard line.
Right now, Bryson Eileen is a man on a mission. You can tell the way he's running the ball. I've seen more spins out of him today than I've seen on the entire season. He's determined to pick up as many yards as he can on every carry. He is literally living every carry.
I don't know who made the pregame speech in the locker room to this team, but they better play the tape again at halftime. Aline faked the handoff, and it's the quarterback, McDaniel, on the keeper, goes around the right side, has the first down for Delaware State up to the 47-yard line of the Eagles.
Again, great decision by Jack McDaniels. Good faking on that play. He had everybody drawing in, looking for Bryson Eileen to carry the ball, and he picked up big yards for the first.
Had a career-best 53 yards last week. He could top that this week the way he's going. Bryant Dallas on the carry for the Hornets. Right into the middle of the line, up to the 45, makes it 2nd and 8.
Right now, Delaware State's just muscling down the field. You know, they're not trying to finesse this North Carolina Central defense. They're literally pounding them between the tackles.
Daniels checking off on the play. Hands off. Michael Chris Ike, and he uses that big frame to power through the middle up to the 42-yard line of North Carolina Central. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Exactly where this team wants to be. They don't like anything longer or larger than 3rd and 5 because they still have the option to throw the ball. McDaniels is proving he has the arm, and they can still run the rock.
Give to Chris Ike, breaks through tacklers. He's into the open to the 20, the 15, 10-yard line, 5-yard line. Touchdown, Michael Chris Ike, his first of his collegiate career.
It was just a matter of time before they got this man into the game, and now you can see why his name has been ringing bell and popping on campus, man. This guy's the real deal, ladies and gentlemen. And this is a university that has had a bevy of 1,000-yard rushers. What I want to tell you is this man might have his name listed among some of the best to ever run the rock here at Del State.
Jose Romar Martinez comes in to try his 3rd extra point of the game. This one, can't tell if it's into the wind or with the wind behind him because it's a swirling wind here at Alumni Stadium, but it is good. 9:19 remaining in the first half. We'll take a timeout. The Hornets leading 21-7. This is MEAC Football on at Alumni Stadium. Delaware State leading 21-7 in the second quarter.
Huge drive by Delaware State, Gary. They did what they haven't been able to do this entire season. They answered when the other team has scored. All right.
Michael Chris Ike, 64 yards rushing to lead everybody after that run. 8 carries, and his first Delaware State touchdown. We get the sensation there are going to be many more before his time is up here. The freshman broke the ice here today. Romar Martinez, kickoff. Taken. Oh, he should have let that go out of bounds. Oh, they are going to count it out of bounds. Chance Kennedy had 1 foot inbounds, 1 foot out of bounds when he grabbed the football and then stepped out of bounds with it. The official marking it that through the penalty marker for the illegal procedure. The Hornets pleading their case that he had to touch that ball while he was in bounds.
I've never seen an official listen to players and pick up a flag and say, you know what, you're right and I was wrong. So, you know, the
we can't have 2 firsts on successive plays. They're calling it a kick out of bounds. You wondered, though, why Chance Kennedy even touched the ball when it was apparent it was going to go out of bounds.
Looked like he might have been directed by one of those up men blocking for him to like, hey, you know, you can grab it. And I just think instinctually he ran over there to get the ball and wasn't really cognizant of how close he was to the sideline. But he ducked the bullet, and North Carolina Central is going to start off with pretty good field position on this drive right here.
North Carolina Central will try to get back into this thing now. They're down by 14 as Chauncey Caldwell will fake the handoff. He'll keep it, and he will get hit in the backfield. Be a loss of 3 or 4 yards. Faked the handoff to Chance Kennedy and then kept it himself.
Caldwell, who scored on the last drive, you know, basically running the exact same play, just trying to see if they can, you know, go back to the well and pick up some yards. But again, it's a very enthusiastic Delaware State defense that's playing great team defense right now.
Well, after that kickoff, the ball was set at the 35-yard line. Loss of 2 on the play to the 33, 2nd down and 12. Caldwell throwing incomplete, way ahead of his intended receiver, Nike Martin.
Caldwell quick on the trigger on that last play. I think some of that pressure from Del State has gotten to him. You know, he's a little bit conscious about, you know, hearing those footsteps coming close. So he got that ball off maybe a little bit premature, but it was a little off target.
Yeah, they're not giving him time to set up back there. He has to get rid of it quickly, and in doing so, threw it ahead of his receiver. Now he has three receivers split out wide on the right side, throwing into the middle. It is broken up. He was trying to get it to Deshaun Stevens.
Jahad Niebauer again, Gary, on great coverage. We've seen him hit earlier in the game, and we showed that now he just showed his ability to cover against the pass. Great play to force the punt.
Trailing the receiver, just reached in front and knocked the ball away as it got there. So it's 4th down and 12. Central 3 and out quickly. It's Bryson Aline steps back to his 30-yard line. The punt is low. The snap is low. Punter gets away. A low rolling ball. Aline will stay away from it, and it will roll dead at the Hornets' 24-yard line, 26-yard line.
And again, penalty flags down on the field, some extracurricular activity.
Way away from the ball, up near midfield.
You got to hope it's not against the Hornets.
There was a bad snap for the punt. The punter was just able to get away. John Picaro had to kind of do it rugby style, run to his right. He got away a low punt that would have been blocked if he'd have kicked it that way in the middle. And it just went end over end to the Hornets' 26-yard line, and now the Hornets will lose some yardage.
Look like they got Kewan Selby involved on that penalty. Not exactly sure what it was, but just based on Coach Milstead getting on him and the team surrounding him and encouraging him, he had to be involved in that penalty.
That may be a topic of discussion in the locker room at halftime.
Yeah, I think, that's going to be very high on the list of one thing.
Yeah.
And that's, listen, fellas, we can't give it away. Right now, we're doing everything we need to do to win.
Doing everything right, but the unsportsmanlike conduct calls, that's the 3rd or 4th of the game against Delaware State. And at some point, that could be very costly. So they'll start from their 13-yard line. Handoff, Bryson Aline out around the right tackle. Gets it up across the 20-yard line before he's brought down. And he just found a lot of running room. He's so fast that he got outside of that tackle and was able to take it out to the 22-yard line to make it 2nd and a yard.
Got a low center of gravity, Gary, and he's a real difficult guy to tackle in space, and he knows how to finish off a run.
Daniels, low snap. He hands it off. They'll run it into the middle, trying to pick up the 1st down here. And they're still trying to surge forward. Finally, the whistle, but that stack just surging forward, and again, looking like a rugby scrum.
Yeah, and looking like a team,
Yeah.
It seems like everybody's involved on every play.
1st down, Hornets. And a good carry. Bryant Dallas comes to the sideline after that one and gets congratulated by his teammates. 1st down from the 25-yard line. McDaniels hands it off. And that was Michael Chris Ike into the middle that time. Got nothing, was taken down immediately, and we have a North Carolina Central player down. Training staff comes out to attend to that player. It appears that it could be Tavon Lofties, one of the defensive linemen for North Carolina Central. We'll take a timeout here as the Hornets lead 21-7. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports and
Jimmy John's. Now try your favorite on our new 9-grain wheat sub. Wheat yeah, freak yeah.
Welcome back. Delaware State up 21-7. Second quarter action here with just about 7 minutes and 9 seconds left in the first half. Coming up at halftime, an interview with the new head women's basketball coach at Delaware State University, Dave Caputo. Looking forward to that, our first opportunity to talk to him about what we can expect. And the women's first game will be on November 17th here on HSRN. 1st and 10, Delaware State. A quick out pass on the left side to Kwana Kali, who got his first touchdown of the season in the first quarter. That pass complete for a gain of 2 to make it 2nd and 8.
Brought down on the play by King Kaikua on that. What a great football name, too. King Kaikua, boy, I tell you. That should be on somebody's football card at the next level. But, again, on that play, just a great open field tackle on Kawana Colley, a guy who's got a touchdown in today's game and was looking to make something happen, but all he could get on that play was just a basic reception, no yards after reception.
Let's reset the down and the yardage. It's 3rd down and 9 for Delaware State as they marked it as only a yard gain. So Jack McDaniels from the shotgun, a little bit of pressure, steps forward, has to pull it down. He's going to run with it and gets a little bit of yardage, but Hornets will be forced to punt here from their own 27-yard line.
3-and-out possessions for Del State. You know, they were hoping to sustain that drive again and move that ball down the field, but it started off with great defense early in the possession. North Carolina Central doing a good job of limiting Chris Ike on his first carry, doing an excellent job of stopping Kawana Colley on the next play, and then forcing Jack McDaniels to tuck and run. Just good defense by North Carolina Central.
Fidel Romo Martinez, the punt for only the 2nd time this afternoon for Delaware State. He'll kick it away from the return man, and a good roll down inside the 25-yard line. Still rolling. Close to the 20. They're going to put it down at the 23-yard line.
With that punt, he flipped the field and gave North Carolina Central a whole lot of yards to cover to get back into pay dirt, and giving that defense an opportunity to be real aggressive on these first couple of plays on this possession.
There's a timeout on the field. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports and ESPN. North Carolina Central set up here 1st and 10 from their own 22-yard line as we return to action at Alumni Stadium on the campus of Delaware State University in Dover, Delaware. Chauncey Caldwell, quarterback, trying to get something going. Hands off on 1st down. They sweep left side, and a good running play, good carry by Isaiah Totten. He's knocked out of bounds after he gets the 1st down.
And it seems like there's always some extracurricular activity on every play, especially when it ends on that North Carolina Central side of the field. You know, these Hornets are playing with a whole lot of intensity, but you got to play with your heads. On that play, they gave up some big yards and gave them a 1st down on their first carry of the possession.
1st down from the 35-yard line. On the draw play, Totten again left side. He's not going to get as much this time, and late penalty markers go in or in the area of the line of scrimmage. This could be that rare penalty against North Carolina Central.
Jahad Niebauer again on run support, coming up and making a huge tackle on Totten, preventing him from picking up any yards on that play.
This will cost the Eagles some yardage here. Delaware State has 8 penalties in the game. That's cost them 79 yards. I believe that's number 4 for North Carolina Central. Puts the ball back on their 25-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 25 to go for the Eagles. This Hornet defense has given Caldwell some problems today, especially passing. He had a little bit of time there, airs it out downfield. It is going to be ruled. The official who was right there hadn't made the call. Second official came up and made the call. It's complete at the 35-yard line and stepping out of bounds immediately after making the catch.
Looked like Kewan Selby on the coverage on that play. He got beat in that huge man-to-man coverage situation. They've struggled defensively as far as the pass game is concerned.
Nike Martin on the reception with good coverage back there. They'll sweep left side and knocked out of bounds after the carry. Tyquan Watson was hit by Brian Cavalcante, pushing him out of bounds. No gain on the play. Well, they did give him a yard to the Hornets' 34.
Martin is starting to emerge as a target for North Carolina Central. He had 6 receptions last week against Norfolk State.
Watson in motion. Fake handoff to him. Caldwell keeps. He's going to go down. He's sacked back at his 42-yard line, at the Hornets' 42-yard line.
Call that Cavalcante and company. Delaware State read that. Obviously, they're paying attention to film. They recognized that Caldwell was going to keep that ball, and there was about 4 or 5 guys in pursuit, and eventually all of them were involved in the tackle.
3rd down and 16. as the Hornets defense came up big there. Now they need a stopper. Getting down to 3 minutes left in the first half. Caldwell from the gun. Looking. Goes to his left side. Marker on the field. Throws downfield. Broken up. As the ball got there, coming from behind, Devin Smith, the defensive back, to knock the ball away.
Devin Smith, another one of those guys who's trying to make a statement with his play, because clearly he wants to be a player in this program as we go forward.
Holding against North Carolina Central will be declined by Delaware State to bring up 4th down and 16, forcing the Eagles to punt.
Del State giving up a little bit of yardage on that possession, but tightening up once North Carolina Central got close to the red zone. They're going to put them in a 4th and punting situation. The offense will get another opportunity to go out there and see if they can add some more points to the scoreboard.
John Piccaro popped it up. Pressure was there. He hit it straight up in the air. It takes a good bounce down to the Hornets' 20-yard line, but that ball popped up. It came down at the 35-yard line. Had that ball not gone downfield, it would have been an extremely short punt. So there will be 2:38 left in the first half for Delaware State to try to put some more points on the board. Good pressure on special teams there to make Piccaro rush that punt. And that thing just about went straight up in the air.
And if you're Del State, you don't have to rush this drive. You really just got to get into the red zone field goal position. The wind, if it is swirling, it's swirling to their backs right now, so it could aid in any field goal attempt.
Seems to be coming a bit out of the northwest at this point, looking at the flags on the tops of the goalposts. It'll be Bryson Aline on the carry on 1st down. Good for 2 yards to make it 2nd and 8. You say it was a 3-yard gain to the 23-yard line, so it's 2nd and 7. McDaniels has to work a little bit in the backfield. Threw it just too high. Had a wide open Trey Gross and just a little bit over his reach. Trey Gross for Delaware State stands 6'4". 6'6", he has the ball.
7th game in the season. These are the plays that you have to make. You know, you two guys have been playing together, and you know, you got to find a way to make those big receptions. Those are the ones that keep drives going. Those are the ones that determine, you know, what teams are going to be championship teams, those types of plays.
That's a good 3rd down play for Delaware State. They don't want to give the ball back to the Eagles. They'll give it to Bryson Aline. He's hit from behind as he tries to turn the corner on the right side. Picks up a couple of yards to the 25-yard line. Be 4th down and 5 for Delaware State. And North Carolina Central wants to put some things together here, so they call the quick timeout. We'll keep it right here. If you have a celebration or you're just craving some ice cream, Cold Stone Creamery is your place to go in Dover. Get 10% off any purchase just by mentioning DSU Athletics. So it'll be 4th down and 6 for Delaware State as the timeout. This is one of those short timeouts. That defense will be asked to step onto the field again with just under 2 minutes left in the half to make the stop as they'll go to the locker room with a lead.
That was an important drive, too. You know, Delaware State's defense may still be able to hold and prevent Central from getting any significant yards or any points on the next possession. But the offense, you know, they have to find a way to sustain drives. They're supposed to really have taken a whole lot of time off the clock and really put themselves in a much better position. They shouldn't be punting in this situation right now.
Hornets had to call timeout there. They didn't have the right personnel on the field, and they tried to rush some people on at the last minute. Timeout called by the sideline to avoid the penalty. I think they would have had 12 men on the field had they not called that timeout. So there, after today, 3 football games left, and a few of them are home games, thankfully, which has been a rare commodity on the season. We've been on the road an awful lot.
Yeah, we'll go back to back. You know, we're doing them here today, North Carolina Central. Next week, we'll come back and we'll face Savannah State, and then we go on the road, which is literally a game in our backyard down in Morgan, and we end it right back here against Lynchburg. So, again, there are a whole lot of victories potentially left on the schedule. You're seeing what I believe is the future of the program, today's performance by these Hornets. They just have to show everybody that's here and everybody who's listening that they can protect leads and they can sustain drives.
And on the 17th, that final game of the season, we'll have a doubleheader. We'll have football, and then that evening the Lady Hornets open up the basketball season at home. We'll go across campus here to the field house. Hornets rugby-style kick there to use up some time. It gets away from the return man, and it's downed by Delaware State at the 38-yard line of North Carolina Central.
Nigel Bynum fielding that ball, not allowing it to take a bounce that could have given North Carolina Central any additional field position. So you did mention that last game, so I have some advanced knowledge about that game, and you'll be involved in the women's basketball game as well, so you're not going to be leaving campus. Do you need a dorm room?
I may need one. Somebody to drive me home that evening, but
that's a whole lot of work in one day, man.
Yeah. That's what we're here for. That's how we have our fun. First down from the 39-yard line for North Carolina Central. Pass left side, too high, and over the hands of the intended receiver there. Looked like E.J. Hicks might have been the intended receiver over there.
Andrew Reese for the Hornets on the coverage, and he was in position. Looked like Chauncey Caldwell was just a little bit too high and too hot on that pass.
And again, he had to really rush that pass. The pressure was there by the Hornets defense. They're not giving him much time to set up back there this afternoon. Caldwell on the quarterback draw, takes it left side, runs out to the 46-yard line. He got banged there. Now a late penalty marker, and we might have helmet-to-helmet contact as Caldwell stays on the ground.
And that's, if we do have it, they're going to hit, you will believe this, Jihad Niebauer for that potential helmet-to-helmet collision. And he's had two prior situations in the season that have resulted in him missing playing time. You know, he's a good player. He's an aggressive player. He doesn't do it purposefully. It's not intentionally done. It's just that this is one of those guys, Gary, who when he tackles, he leads with his head. He's going to have to find a new way to tackle, but
he's got to bring the head up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the way he tackles.
Yeah, he has to bring that head up and see who he's hitting. At the same time, you got a ball carrier who wants to gain extra yardage who sticks the head down too. So naturally there's contact, and still the way the rules are written, it gets called on the tackler. Caldwell still down, being attended to by the coaching staff or the medical staff for North Carolina Central.
If this is Jihad Niebauer, well, you know, the one good thing about this, there's nothing good about him having to leave the game. But if he does, he'll know exactly how to do it because he's been asked to leave two prior games for the exact same situation. So, you know, the Hornets don't want to lose his play. He's really a good stopper on our side of the ball defensively. But, you know, at the end of the day, they're being really strict about how you bring people down, and they got to, you know, protect people's futures.
Well, with the delay on the field, we'll take a timeout as well. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports and Delaware State University as the Hornets with a 21-7 lead over North Carolina Central with just a minute and 38 left in the first half, and the medical staff still out attending to Chauncey Caldwell, the quarterback for North Carolina Central. On a quarterback draw play, went around the left side, was stacked up a bit, and then Jihad Niebauer came in, and we're now getting a second look at it for the first time. And as he was there, that was not an intentional hit. Caldwell was going down. Niebauer came in to kind of help out on the tackle, and I'm not really sure it was helmet-to-helmet either.
You know, the helmets can actually make contact, but you can't use the helmet to actually kind of deliver the initial contact. It looked as if the helmets make contact in the act of tackling. So I don't really think he intentionally, tried to use it as a weapon. But they're being very, broad about this call. I've seen guys who clearly didn't look like they wanted to hurt somebody, but if those two helmets touch and they believe the defender could have changed his tackling posture, they're hitting him with the penalty and they're sitting him down. They're sending him in the locker room. So,
at the same time, though, on looking at it that second time, it looked like more contact was made by the shoulder. And the way the shoulder pads are constructed, you can do an awful lot of damage with those things.
That is correct, But again, they really focused just on the helmet-to-helmet contact. And again, I didn't really see any.
We're getting another look at it here.
But you can see him come right up right there, and then bam, the two helmets hit.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of shoulder making contact there. Yeah, there was a bit of contact with the helmets. Caldwell was in a vulnerable position here.
As I look at that tackle, from the replays as they slowed it down, I would have liked for Jihad Niebauer to have more of a tackling motion. It looked as if he was trying to prevent Caldwell from picking up any additional inches, and, he kind of just lowers his center of gravity. It's a shoulder side of the head type of a hit. Again, I think it's really intent. I don't know if he intentionally tried to use his head as a weapon.
Well, looking at it from another angle, as we were just able to do there on television, I'm not sure there was helmet contact. It looked more like the shoulder made the contact.
Yeah.
The problem was Caldwell had been hit and he was going down when he got hit, and that's when Niebauer made the contact. And here we seeing it again from behind as Caldwell gets stacked up there by two tacklers, and then Niebauer comes in. And from that angle, it doesn't look like helmet contact. It looked like shoulder contact. And if there was contact, maybe it wasn't Niebauer.
Right.
They brought the cart out now, and they are getting Chauncey Caldwell onto the cart to be taken to the locker room.
It doesn't look like his injury is even head-related or, as far as, shoulders and above. It looks like he's favoring a leg as they put him on that cart. So one of his legs got twisted up in that tackle.
Yeah, they physically lifted him to take him over. Now a couple of the Hornet defensive players go over and they give their good wishes to Chauncey Caldwell before he is taken off the field. And it was Niebauer, one of the players who went over to say something to the quarterback Caldwell. We still haven't gotten the official call on the penalty marker that was thrown. Okay, so apparently they've lifted the flag. No call, no targeting. There's no penalty on the play.
I think it's the appropriate, situation, appropriate call.
Niall Ramadan comes in at quarterback now. He's a redshirt junior, 6 foot, 190 pounds. He'll take over at quarterback on 3rd down and 4. Hand it off on third down to Isaiah Totten, who picks up the first down, getting the ball out to the Delaware State 47-yard line.
Ramadan is an experienced player for North Carolina Central. He's seen action in 6 games, so, both those guys are pretty much equal in terms of their play.
Ramadan to throw for the first time into the middle. It is complete. A gain of about 6 yards on the play. A quick across-the-middle pattern. And hold on, as a Hornet player, just a little bit slow getting up, but I think the players were still tangled up. Now some jawing back and forth between players on both sides.
That was Devin Smith, slow to get up, but I don't know if that was a tactic because he looks real healthy. I don't think there's any physical issues with him.
Ramadan coming into the game, 33 of 62 passing on the season for 293 yards. He has 4 touchdown passes, his longest completion a 36-yarder. He's also run the ball 9 times. He had an 8-yard gain, but he's also lost some yardage, so he has 0 rushing yards.
Again, an experienced signal caller. This is a guy who started 3 games in a row, and there was a time when they really hadn't settled on a quarterback, but From what I understand, after the Norfolk game, that they realized that they wanted to give Chauncey Caldwell the nod and allow him to lead the team, but they understand if Caldwell can't make it, Ramadan is an excellent replacement. This is not a guy who they feel the quarterback play will fall off if he gets into the game.
Here we go on 2nd down and 4. 2 receivers split out wide on each side for the Eagles. Ramadan wants to pass. A little bit of pressure. Steps forward. Runs right side. Throwing, and he'll throw this one away as there was nobody open downfield. Good decision to get rid of that one. 3rd down and 4.
I thought he was going to tuck and run, but he thought the better of it. He was staring Cavalcanti right in the eyes, and, you know, he would have had to turn that ball up and meet him in a manner he may not wanted to have meet him, but at the end of the day, he got rid of it, and it's still a 3rd and short situation.
This defense has been hitting hard today, putting pressure on quarterbacks. They'll run the ball on 3rd down and lose yardage. Hit in the backfield. Isaiah Totten never had a chance. That defense was in as Totten went to his left side. The right side of that defensive unit was there, and they just kept coming. If Totten got away from one, there was someone else there to hit him.
Looks like I could give an assist to about 4 or 5 guys on that play. That's just good team defense by Delaware State. You know, you're a defensive coordinator. Yeah, you want guys to come up and make big hits, but you want to see 4 or 5 guys in the area wherever the ball is at, especially on run plays. And again, just great run support by the entire defense.
Now as Central will be faced with a 4th down and 8, they've called one of those 30-second timeouts, so we'll stay right here with it. And remind you that at halftime we have an interview with Delaware State's new women's head basketball coach, David Caputo. And we'll start our basketball season on November 17th with a women's basketball game.
New field, new football coach, new basketball coach, men and women's, new AD.
Athletic director, yeah. I mean,
new president.
Yeah.
You know, it's the old new Del State.
Everything moving forward here.
That is correct.
I want to take a moment while we have the opportunity here, and no, this is not the right spot to do it as they're going to resume play, but we do want to mention a loss to the Delaware State family this past week, and we'll get into that at the next opportunity. 4th down and 8 from the Hornets' 45-yard line. Ramadan drops back, throwing deep downfield, way ahead of his intended receiver. He looked like he was trying to get it to Xavier McCoy, and the Hornet defender downfield there, Jihad Niebauer, was closer to making the catch than the offensive player. So the Hornets will take it over 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line with 29 seconds left in the half. And we might see Jack McDaniels air it out here a bit and try to get down into scoring position quickly. At least field goal range. Put some more points on the board before halftime.
I would suspect they'll give him maybe 1 to 2 plays at the most to see if they can move the ball. If not, they're going to be content with just taking a knee and letting that clock expire.
And have a halftime lead for the first time this season. McDaniels, plenty of time. Throws, right side. He's picked off. Intercepted at the 43-yard line. Devonta Reynolds, the defensive back, on the interception, stepped in front of the intended receiver and made the catch, went down immediately. And so North Carolina Central Eagles will get another opportunity here.
Just one of those situations where I think he was targeting maybe Trey Gross and didn't place the ball where he wanted to place it. Maybe he got out of his hand a little bit, but definitely not on target.
Ramadan may be airing it out here. No, he'll throw a quick swing pass to the right side. Caught, and a good run, and breaking a tackle is Tyquan Watson. He bobbled the ball a little bit initially and then stepped to the side of a tackler, ran through a tackler, and got up to the Hornets' 41-yard line. Ramadan takes the snap under center and downs the ball to stop the clock. Just under 9 seconds left in the half. Time for one play here.
Just catching that ball out in space, doing a good job of being elusive and showing excellent balance after contact. Great job of not only catching the ball, but finishing off the run and picking up used yards.
Haven't seen too many Central players run through a Delaware State tackle today, but Tyquan Watson did so on that play. Now the Eagles will put 3 receivers out wide on the right side, 1 on the left side. They'll flood that right side with receivers. They have Deshaun Stevens, E.J. Hicks, and Tyler Barnes out on the right side, with the ball on the near side hash mark at the 41-yard line. Ramadan quickly throwing all the way downfield. They're going to call pass interference against Delaware State. The ball was underthrown. There was no way the receiver, Nike Martin, was going to get back to it, but they're going to call pass interference on Devin Smith.
I think that was the 20. It looked like Kewan Selby.
Okay.
And again, it's one of those situations you get tangled up with a wide receiver. You're putting yourself in a position where you can give the official the chance to make that call. Didn't turn his head either, Gary.
All right, so this will be the last play of the half. 3.6 seconds left in the half. The ball moved up to the Delaware State 26-yard line, and they send the field goal unit out. Adam Lippy to try a 43-yard field goal. You hear the crowd. They want it blocked. It was! Hornets got up there at the line of scrimmage and blocked that field goal. It's picked up for Delaware State by Brian Cavalcante. Breaks a couple of tackles up to the 40-yard line and driven out of bounds just across the 40-yard line. There's some excitement here at Delaware State this afternoon, and the Hornets finish off the first half in fine fashion, blocking the field goal. They just got a lot of penetration there in the middle, and then Brian Cavalcante ran back to his 15-yard line, picked it up, got away from a couple of tacklers, and headed down the sideline. Had just a couple of men to beat, or he might have been taking it the distance.
We got to mark this first half, I believe, as the moment when the players decided that they owned this team, that it came off of the chalkboards and out of the minds of the coaches and into the hearts and the actions of the players. They've really been playing strong today.
Brian Cavalcante was looking for his second touchdown of the season on a block kick. He got a blocked punt for a touchdown at St. Francis in Game 2 of the season. And he's thinking, well, maybe I can take a blocked field goal the whole way, as he turned it around and took it down the right sideline, but was unable to get the distance. Happy to come away with the blocked field goal, however, as the Hornets head for the locker room. So we're going to take a timeout here. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports, and on ESPN.
Warriors at 10:30, Friday on ESPN.
Is a senior education major hailing from Chester, Pennsylvania.
You learned, and then what you instilled in us. Full circle.
Full circle.
job with a couple of sacks here today. Joined here at halftime by the new head coach of the women's basketball team at Delaware State University, David Caputo. We're less than a month away from your season starting on the 17th of November. We'll be there for the start of it.
Yes, sir. Actually, we start on the 6th at Temple. But
That's right.
Our first
Yeah,
home
the first
game
home
is
game.
the 13th, actually. So about 2 weeks away. It's coming really fast, but we're enjoying practice. But today we're actually enjoying our recruits and our Delaware State football team playing a great game, our alumni, our fans, our students. So just really enjoying today.
Let's talk about this women's basketball team. You've had a chance to work with them now, getting ready for the season, coming in brand new. What are you looking at? What's the prospects for the season?
Well, we're on a day-to-day approach. You know, I bring a lot of energy, a lot of passion, a lot of intensity. So I'm just trying to get that filtered through our program, and we're taking a day-by-day approach. Everyone has a clean slate with me, and it's been fun. It's been intense, but a lot of growth and change. So, again, every day is precious and valuable, and we're enjoying the process. Now, I'm enjoying the process of, this new culture and trying to, embed my new style. But the girls might not be, but I think they're seeing the fruits of what's happening. So, again, it's been a process. I think we'll get better every day, and we want to be a team that's fun to watch, and we will be. And just so you know in advance, next season we already have about 9 non-conference games already locked in. So on top of that, we have our 8 conference home games. So we have 17 or 18 home games for the 2019-20 season. So we're really going to get everything kind of changed around here and get more people involved and show our brand and our style and play a lot of home games from next year on out.
And I think you're going to like the atmosphere in Memorial Hall.
I love it. That's why I did it, because the first thing I saw.
You've been on the other side of it.
I have, but when I came to the freshman welcome back event when I first got here, it was packed, and the environment was intense and fun. I'm like, wow, this is how I need our games to be. And I think once we have our style of play embedded and people are coming to see us play, hopefully that's how our home games will all look like, and our men's games too.
So you're getting ready for this season, and it's an all-new future at Delaware State University.
Yes,
the whole thing's been turned around. New athletic director, new president,
yes, sir.
New football coach, new basketball coaches
Yes,
for the men and women.
Yes, sir.
So it's all moving forward.
Yes, sir, it is. And I think it's all in a positive direction. I think in the beginning, there's going to be kind of feelers and little bumps in the road, but the future is bright. We're all on the exact same page. We all have the exact same vision for the programs, for the university. So it's going to be fun, and we're all going to put winning products on the field. I can guarantee you that. The right people are here, and I think Delaware State has an unbelievable foundation of what we need to be successful. Now it's on the coaches now to get our style and our kind of kids in here and win. So we got to win, and you guys deserve to have winning teams, and that's what's going to happen.
All right, we're looking forward to it. We're going to be along the way with you, and we're going to see exactly where you can take this team this season.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. All right, thank you.
Good luck.
Have a good one.
Head women's basketball coach David Caputo here with us at halftime, as we're just about to the start of that basketball season, as we're game 8 in the football season here at Delaware State University. Halftime, Hornets lead 21-7. We're going to take another break here.
Be proud. Together we can stop bullying.
Choose kindness.
Choose kindness. Choose kindness and shred hate.
For Delaware State, Jack McDaniels, 9 of 15 passing. He got intercepted right at the end of the first half. 103 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was only sacked once. Hornets held Chauncey Caldwell to 3 completions on 11 attempts for only 39 yards. He was sacked twice. He was knocked out of the game in the second quarter. Now Ramadan came in and went 2 for 4 for 22 yards. Rushing, the Hornets have carried for 132 yards on 25 carries, 93 yards on 20 carries for North Carolina Central. The big problem for Delaware State in the first half, penalties. They had 8 in the first quarter. They only had 1 in the second quarter, but they need to get that down. And the problem was 3 or 4 of them were unsportsmanlike conduct calls against the Hornets. So I'm sure, Mike Walker, that was a topic of discussion in the locker room at halftime about get yourself under control. We don't want to give away a stupid penalty and keep a drive going by their offense.
If you're Coach Milstead, you have to be very excited about the enthusiasm. And essentially a lot of those penalties were based in enthusiasm, but you have to be able to keep them under control because right now we're in the driver's seat. We're where we want to be, and we can't give away these precious opportunities with dumb mistakes.
So the second half is about to get underway here. Delaware State will kick off to North Carolina Central. Jose Romo Martinez to kick for the Hornets. This one taken at the 5-yard line. Jonathan DeLuca comes left side and gets tripped up as he gets to the 23-yard line.
Again, great pursuit, great attitude and effort by special teams. Special teams are important. They're the introduction to the next phase of the game, be it offense or defense, and what they do is the carryover, right, for what the offense or the defense does. So right now the defense is excited about being on the field. They're hoping to get a 3-and-out and get that offense back on the field as quick as possible.
And we start this second half with a penalty. And this one is on North Carolina Central. They'll move the ball back to the 12-yard line. On the return, by the way, it was Demario Evans. We're being told the penalty was for a uniform problem, which is the same thing that started the game on North Carolina Central. So don't have details on that, but we do have a marker that flies, and they can't even get the play off as Niall Ramadan took the snap. This one is against North Carolina Central also. It moves the ball back to the 7-yard line, just outside the 7-yard line, where it's still first down and 5 for the Eagles. As they dig a little bit of a hole, this defense now going to come in hard against them. Run play to the outside, good sweep to the outside, going to get the first down. Maybe, looks like he's going to be very close to it. Isaiah Totten quickly around the right side, but hold on, there's laundry on the field.
Look like there may be a hold play side on North Carolina Central.
This one is on North Carolina Central. Half the distance to the goal line. Let's see where they'll mark the ball now.
They won the coin toss initially, and they deferred to the second half. They wanted to get their defense out there initially to establish a dominance over Delaware State. And it looked like it might have worked, but the Hornets offense started to really just catch fire. And, now this offense for Central seems to be struggling.
First down and 19 from the 3-yard line, run up the middle, and a good stop made there as the ball carrier got to the 5-yard line on the carry. It's Isaiah Totten, but he was met there and stopped by that big nose tackle. RJ trying to pick out who exactly made that stop for Delaware State. It looked like it might have been Moses Dupree. Second down from the 5. They'll give it to Totten again. Turns his direction. Started to the right side. There was nothing there. He brought it up the middle and got it out to the 11-yard line. Third down and 11 situation for North Carolina Central as the Eagles will switch some personnel.
Can't seem to picking up the first down on a run play, so it's going to be incumbent upon this defensive line to get good penetration and for these cornerbacks to keep everything not only in front of them, but to make sure that they don't get beat on the deep play.
Now Ramadan, who came in late in the second quarter after the injury to the starting quarterback, Chauncey Caldwell, back near his end zone, throws incomplete. He was trying to get that to Isaiah Totten. Just a little bit too far away for him to pull it in. And again, we have a penalty marker back in the backfield. It is holding against North Carolina Central. I would suspect the Delaware State will decline this penalty.
We're just getting very good play today by Moses Dupree, Isaiah Williams, and Christian Johnson. We haven't talked much about the defensive line for Del State this entire season. Matter of fact, when we have spoken about them, it's been about their inability to put any pressure on the quarterback. But clearly they've heard our cries because today they are dominating the offensive line of North Carolina Central.
Punt is away. It will be rolled toward the sideline and downed at the 49-yard line. I'm not sure that they've heard our cries today, Mike Walker, but I'll bet they heard some from defensive coordinator Mark James.
They've seen his tears, too, so they understood exactly how we felt. And they're responding today. They're responding, and that's all he's asked for, is them to respond to the situation, to the moment.
On first down, the Hornets start on the other side of the 50-yard line, maybe, as we have whistles and flags before the snap of the ball. And North Carolina Central pointing toward Delaware State, and the officials are going to step off 5 yards against the Hornets, put the ball back at the Delaware State 46-yard line, so they will not start on the opposite side of the 50-yard line. First down and 15 for the Hornets.
Going to need to see some leadership on this offense. Someone's going to have to really get into these players, you know what, when they make these mistakes.
McDaniels hands off on first down. They give it to the freshman running back Michael Chris Ike, and he bangs it through to the 48-yard line.
He's going to pick up all the penalty yardage on that play, maybe 6.
Yeah, he did. Got it back for him to make it 2nd and 9. Good game so far for Jack McDaniels. A little bit of a low snap. He gives it to Chris Ike. He has a hole, takes it out over the left side, breaks tackles, and gets it down to the 32-yard line of North Carolina Central. It's a Hornet first down. My gosh, that guy is quick out of the backfield.
I'll tell you, if you want to see an example of a guy who is extremely fast and hasn't really figured out how good he is or how to control his speed and his running style, there he is. Another great burst of speed and energy to pick up another first down.
McDaniels now sends a lean in motion to the right side, fakes the hand. He gives it off to Bryant Dallas, who gets hit in the backfield. They're going to lose a couple of yards back to the 33-yard line.
The lack of rhythm on that play started with the low snap by Ernest Sellers.
Yeah.
And, that's important. When you're in this shotgun offense, you have to make sure that ball gets back to that quarterback mid-level, somewhere around his belt level, so he can make his handoffs correctly.
Those low snaps have been a bit of a problem all season for the quarterbacks at Delaware State. McDaniels on second down, and it looks about like 11 yards to go. Going to the air, going to the end zone, has Kwanakali in the end zone. Pass interference as he got dragged down by the defender. That would have been 6.
Kwanakali looked like he got behind the defender. And Jack McDaniels, he saw that. And he just put the ball up because he knows his receiver in most cases is going to outduel the defensive back. And it just looked like there was some contact prior to the ball arriving. And that's what garnered that flag.
Got dragged down from behind. That's going to be a 15-yard penalty to move the ball to the 16-yard line, a 17-yard line of North Carolina Central. First down, Hornets. And as the first half was full of penalties for Delaware State and few for North Carolina Central, it's been mostly penalties by the Eagles in this second half as they run right side. And it's Michael Chris Ike for 2 yards to the 15-yard line. Players from two teams jawing at each other a little bit after the play. They get separated by teammates and the officials.
There's been a lot of talking all day today. And again, a lot of it instigated by Delaware State. They're just on fire today.
There are no angels out there today, I'll tell you that. But it's working for him. Bryant Dallas gets the dive into the middle of the line. He'll pick up 2 to the 13-yard line. Hornets will be faced with a 3rd and 6.
This used to be a very frightening place for opponents to come and play for multiple reasons. Some of them not football related, but today, definitely these Hornets are letting it be known that this is our house, this is our nest, and we're going to protect it.
It's homecoming, and you want to treat it that way. Nobody comes in on homecoming and messes you up. That's not allowed. McDaniels, long snap count, now looks to the sideline, steps to the line of scrimmage, calls the play. They're going to get called for the delay of game. Just took too long. He was not even aware of where the clock was, and fortunately that got saved on the penalty. The bench called the timeout just before it got down to 0. "30-second timeout," so the opportunity for us to remind you, the official sponsors of HSRN are American Spirit Federal Credit Union, Ebon Environmental Services, Fred Drake Automotive, Astor Pizza and Grill, Cold Stone Creamery, and Magic City Tickets. A lot of penalties here in this early minutes of the third quarter being called against North Carolina Central. And the big one was the pass interference call that set the Hornets up in pretty good field position. Now they have a 3rd and 6.
Del State, finally the benefactor of somebody else committing a whole lot of penalties, and they've extended the drive here for Del State.
Here's McDaniels with Bryson Aline into the middle, inside the 5-yard line. Touchdown Hornets. But a marker on the field. Hold on. Don't put the points on the board yet. This is in an area where it could be on Delaware State.
Got to see what the call would be, but I tell you, he just ran hard behind Caden Crawford and Leaky Sue, and almost untouched going into the end zone. The senior just showing his stuff on homecoming day.
Got the Hornets for holding on the play. So take the touchdown away. And they'll step off the yardage now, moving the ball back from the 13-yard line.
Again, I didn't really see where the hold occurred at. Could have been away from the ball.
Yeah. They put it back on the 19-yard line, 3rd down and 10 for the Hornets from there. 3rd down and 12 from there for the Hornets. They give it back to Aline. He takes it through the middle. Looked like he was going to break it, and then all of a sudden there was a tackler there to wrap him up and throw him to the ground. Jerome Foster, the linebacker, on the stop for North Carolina Central. Hornets now with 4th down and 6, and they keep the offensive unit on the field with a 14-point lead in the third quarter. .9:20 left in the period. Throwing right side, looking for Kawanakali, and they'll get pass interference again. Coverage out there by Marcus Martin, and he got called for the pass interference. The cornerback trying to cover Kawanakali for the second time. They get pass interference.
And Kawanakali, the minute that ball wasn't caught, he came out and he found the official and let him know, man, someone interfered with me. I don't know what the number was, but somebody did.
That's an automatic first down for Delaware State. On 4th down, that is a critical penalty. Oh, they picked up the flag. So it will not be a penalty against North Carolina Central.
Well, I guess you can influence the officials if you just yell at them loud enough. So.
Somebody. I'll tell you what, there's some strange calls going on out there. picking up that flag because that one was a bit obvious. So it's a turnover on downs to North Carolina Central. Now, whistles before the play can begin. The officials have to get together. And I think what's happened, why they did that, is because Delaware State head coach Rod Milstead wants to know what's going on, why that flag was picked up. He wants an explanation. And he's making his case with the officials as well.
Coach a little animated, too.
About as animated as we've seen him on the sideline this year. He's kept his cool through all the trouble and travail, but he's not happy with the officiating today.
Well, he's a teacher, so he's willing to coach anybody. So if he has to pull the officials over and explain to them how this is supposed to work, Coach Milstead will do that.
Okay, he's had his say. They've had their non-listen.
And the world is normal again.
Yeah. 1st and 10, Eagles from their 13-yard line. There's the snap. Ramadan hands off on 1st down. They'll run through the middle. It's Isaiah Totten taking it out to the 17-yard line. Short gain of 4 yards.
Lozano and Christensen on the tackle. Again, Del State playing really good against the run game. North Carolina Central has moved the ball down the field, but not really effectively running the ball.
Now Ramadan wants to throw on 2nd down. Throws into the middle. It is off the hands of Nike Martin. Good coverage there. As the ball got there, Martin's hands were pulled apart, and he couldn't hold on to it.
Credit Nigel Bynum, again, with pretty good defensive coverage. He got in his back pocket, and when that ball was released, that's when he went into trying to strip the ball from him and did a really good job.
3rd down, big one here, as the Hornets want to make these Eagles go 3 and out and try to come away again with some good field position. Ramadan, quick throw across the side, broken up. He wanted to get it to E.J. Hicks, and the defender dove out there and knocked it away.
Again, great defense by Jihad Niebauer, anticipating who the target was going to be and just leaping out there like Superman, getting that hand on the ball. A dangerous play by him, but it worked. Because
another step, and Niebauer might have had a pick 6, too.
Or one less of a step, and, North Carolina Central is going 1st and 10.
Yeah.
So just great play, though.
No, 4th down and 6 for the Eagles. Their punter standing at his 1. And they're going to fake it. They're going to run with the football, and they're going to pick up a 1st down to the 25, 30-yard line, and finally out of bounds out close to the 40-yard line, and that's a play without a penalty marker. Hornets were not expecting the fake there. John Picaro, the punter, on the run and gets good yardage and picks up his team on that play.
You just got to be reminded of those situations. Again, that you can't be mindless of the possibilities on any segment of the game with any team. And Del State just not respecting the fact that North Carolina Central might actually run a fake punt. It was a great call by them. And, again, just lack of awareness on Delaware State's part.
One of the longest runs of the game for North Carolina Central on the fake punt by the punter. Now Ramadan drops back, wants to throw. Pressure there. He gets away, rolls right side, tosses downfield, throws it out of bounds to save and avoid the sack. Give credit, and we have all afternoon, but a lot of credit to this defensive line. They are just not allowing this quarterback to set up, either quarterback for North Carolina Central, set up in the pocket and throw the ball.
Moses Dupree, when he looks at the film today, he's going to be very happy about his performance because he's done a really good job of driving that tackle right back into the quarterback and forcing him out of the pocket.
Ramadan hands off on the draw play. They'll run it up the middle with Isaiah Totten. Totten gets it out to the 39-yard line. I'd call it a gain of 4. 3rd down and 6.
Jason Smith in on that tackle, the nose guard. Again, getting off of that center guard gap and wrapping his arms around Totten and bringing him down for a relatively short game on the play.
Defense looks like they're expecting pass here. They're digging in and getting ready to go after that quarterback. They have 6 men up on the line of scrimmage. Working at it, and the snap. Ramadan looking. He's going to go down back at his 31-yard line.
That's a coverage sack right there, Gary. Great job by the linebackers and the defensive backs of their zone and man coverage. Is a combo call on that. And again, not giving the quarterback any opportunity to look downfield and find anybody open. Just good pressure, too.
Linebacker Alexander Lozado in on the sack for the Hornets. They'll be watching now. John Picaro sets up at his 17-yard line to take the snap for the punt, as they weren't able to do anything after the fake punt. Hornets tipped that ball. They hit the punter Picaro, but the official immediately indicating that they got some of that football, so there's no penalty. The ball will be dead outside of the Hornets' 40-yard line. And with a break in the action, we'll take this timeout as well. You're watching MEAC Football on, listening to it on H. Welcome back to Alumni Stadium. Delaware State leading 21-7 over North Carolina Central. We come back to action. Quick out to Selby. Completed pass to Selby, picks up or loses a yard for Delaware State.
Kawana Colley, he missed his block on that play. Otherwise, Selby could have picked up big yards on that last attempt. And again, it's just, one of these situations where everybody has to execute on every play.
2nd down and 11. They'll run the ball, and it's Chris Ike gets upended at the 50-yard line and falls forward to the 48-yard line. Again, quick around the right side and tried to hurdle a tackler. May think twice about that because the tackler came up.
He's got so much adrenaline running from him. I'm sure he could do that 4 more plays in a row right now.
Yeah, you don't want to land wrong, though, when you're tossed over. 3rd down and 3. Chris Ike fake him in the middle. They tried on that quick slant in to Trey Gross, thrown way over his head. So now on 4th and 3 at midfield, the Hornets are going to punt.
If you're Coach Milstead, you have to be real unhappy with that last offensive possession. That situation right there, they could have literally taken North Carolina Central out of the game with a sustained drive and putting some points on the board. Right now, they're really just 2 scores down. There's a whole lot of game left. At some point, the offense is going to have to step up and put the hammer down.
Here's the punt. Left-footed kicker sends it down. It will be inside it'll go into the end zone. The Hornets trying to cover it inside the 5-yard line. Good effort by Jordan Hanna to get to it, but wasn't able to. They'll bring it out on the touchback. This Hornet defense has done all it has been asked to do here today in holding down this North Carolina Central team. Just don't want to ask them to do it one too many times.
North Carolina Central, right now, the defense has dominated them, and they're second-guessing themselves, and, they're unsure right now. You can tell in the way that they're playing, but all they need is one good drive to swing this momentum and get their confidence back. So they're asking the defense one more time to stop this offense.
Here's now Ramadan from the shotgun on 1st and 10 from his 20-yard line. Throws, quick slant in pattern complete. 1 tackle broken by Nike Martin, and he gets out to the 36-yard line.
That's just nice pitch and catch between quarterback and receiver for Central. And Martin does a good job of running that tight post and well-timed pass.
1st down play, and it's the quarterback Ramadan on the keeper, and he couldn't get past his blocker. There was his running back in front of him. He was trying to get around him, couldn't do so, and that held him up in the backfield. He got stopped for a loss.
credit the man on the tackle for that whole scenario you just described, Jason Smith, the defensive nose guard for Del State, just plugging that interior center guard gap and not allowing anybody to get outside.
2nd and 11 with the ball on the 35-yard line of the Eagles. Ramadan with a long snap count. Pressure coming immediately. He'll run with it, and he gets hit from behind as he gets across the 40-yard line to the 42-yard line.
Flushed out of the pocket by Brian Cavalcante on that linebacker blitz, so he does what he needs to do. But good run by Ramadan, running to the open zone and picking up some positive yards and avoiding a sack for a loss.
So it's 3rd down and 4. When they get hit from behind like that, so many times you'll see that ball pop out. They don't know it's coming, and quarterbacks tend to carry a ball a bit loose anyway.
And it's a much more tougher tackle because you're not ready for it, so you can't brace for the impact.
There's Ramadan straight back, not much pressure, throwing downfield. It'll be incomplete, and that ball was just underthrown to try to get to his receiver. Good coverage, step for step down there by Jihad Niebauer. 4th down for North Carolina Central.
So again, the defense comes on strong. They prevent Central from mounting any type of offensive drive, and they turn the ball right back over to the offense. Now, in the first half, the offense has shown some signs of brilliance, essentially. They can move the ball down the field, but they're starting to stall again. They have to really make something happen on this next possession.
Picaro, hold on, the whistles blow. We have a penalty marker thrown back at the Delaware State 20-yard line. We'll have to wait and see what this one is about. It's going to be a penalty against Delaware State. It's going to give North Carolina Central the 1st down. They had 12 men on the field. You're just not allowed to do that. The ball back to Central, give them another opportunity here.
Referees are having some type of conference on the field because Del State believes they got the play called wrong.
Well, it's not the first time they've expressed that to the officials today, but that hasn't helped them much. American Spirit Federal Credit Union is a proud supporter of DSU on HSRN. Stop by one of their offices in Middletown, Newark, and Dover and ask for free Kasasa checking.
Some information being exchanged by the officials and the powers that be in the booth.
Yeah, again, the referee, Eric Green, and the field judge, Preston Harding, consulting over on the side with a headset on. The referee, Eric Green. Trying to figure out, this is the 2nd time today we've had this kind of a delay and situation where they're talking things over. Give you the opportunity to remind you that expert cleaning with affordable plan options are what Ebon Environmental Services offer. EbonEnviro.com is how you can reach them.
Officials want to make sure they get it right, so they're taking as much time as legally possible in a football game.
What is the legal limit on that?
From my understanding, it's supposed to be 1 week, so we could be here for a minute.
We went right past, almost went past the legal limit there in the first quarter on that blocked punt and return by the offensive man.
Defense was playing very well. Again, they did what they needed to do, applied pressure, made some big hits, forced North Carolina Central to punt the ball, and they want to get that offense back on the field, and then they want the offense to sustain the drive, get some time off the clock, get down there in the red zone, and it doesn't have to result in a touchdown. Of course, you always want a touchdown, but put some points on the board. But more importantly, stay on the field. No more 3 and outs. They got to really start to script the offense a little bit better. And guys got to make plays, you know. Sometimes you got to take a simple play that's drawn up on the scoreboard and turn it into a huge play. Coaches can't do that. That's on players.
While they're trying to sort things out, let's take this quick timeout. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports and ESPN3. All right, they have picked up the flag and said that there were 11 men on the field and not 12, so there's no penalty against Delaware State. It's 4th down and 4 on North Carolina Central, and they will send out John Piccaro to punt. I don't think I've seen so many flags picked up in a single game. Piccaro on the rugby-style punt sends it downfield. It will be to the Hornets' 21-yard line, or in that vicinity, when it was hit there by one of the North Carolina Central players. Looks like they'll set up the Hornets right about the 21-yard line.
Mike Robinson from North Carolina Central doing his best handball impression, trying to get that ball to roll forward. But where you contact it, that's where the ball gets spotted. So it's going to be fairly decent field position for Delaware State. There's no rain coming down. So they got to establish something on this possession right now. This could be a back-breaking possession for Delaware State University. If they end up putting some points on the board, it'll really work on the psyche of North Carolina Central. They can't make it another 3-and-out situation. They'll keep them in the game.
2:57 left in the third quarter. They could actually, with a good possession, take it into the fourth quarter before anything happens. They'll hand it off on first down. Power running by Michael Chris Ike as he dragged tacklers and finally got taken down just short of the 30-yard line. He was determined not to go down.
And that's what they're missing. They've been missing this throughout the entire season, that solid gain on first down. When you have a second and what looks to be about maybe 2 or a short 3, it gives you so many options that you can use for this down.
Determined running. Chris Ike gets the call again as he takes it into the middle. Looks like he will have the first down. He needed to get to the 31-yard line and took it to around the 32. First down, Hornets.
If you're Hornets, you're in no rush to run the next play. You just want to make sure everything is right. You don't want any penalties, no turnovers. Take your time. Execution, first downs is the goal now.
Ball possession, and maybe put some points on the board. They'll stay on the ground, and they'll stay with Michael Chris Ike as he pounds it out to the 36-yard line.
You know, it doesn't look pretty, doesn't look special, but every time he touches the ball, he's picking up 4 and 5 yards per carry. And again, this is what you need. In football, a successful play is literally 4 yards. You pick 3 of those up, you get a first down.
Give credit to Caden Crawford, the right tackle. Chris Ike is finding a lot of places to run following him. This time he takes it into the middle and works his way down to the Hornets' 42-yard line, picks up 2, makes it third down and about 4.
Central figuring out that, hey, they're going to make this the Michael Chris Ike show, so we might as well, you know, load the box up, and they do a good job of preventing any big gains on that last play.
We have a North Carolina Central player shaken up on the play. Randy and Wayu.
Still down on the carpet.
Yeah, he's down at the 35-yard line. So we'll take a break here as well. A timeout on the field. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports and ESPN3. return to Delaware State University. Alumni Stadium. Hornets up by 14, 21-7 over North Carolina Central. Delaware State with a 3rd down and 5, trying to keep a drive alive and take it into the 4th quarter here. They'll give it to Michael Chris Ike, his 18th carry of the game. And that one goes for 2 yards. That gives him 116 yards on the day. Not a bad afternoon for the freshman.
But not maybe necessarily the best call for that particular play, because Del State needed a 1st down. And they're starting to key on him. They recognize he's in the game. Guys are crowding the line of scrimmage. And he's tipping off that the intent is going to be run. So, they have to sometimes use that play fake that's been successful for them and look to get the ball to their playmakers out in space.
I was going to mention the play action fake to him really could help a lot and hit an open man and gain a lot of yardage. Hornets to punt on 4th and 2. This one hits just outside the 20-yard line, and the Hornets they're picked up by North Carolina A&T Central at the 18-yard line. Hornets were letting that one go. They were going to cover it, and all of a sudden, wide open, Marcus Martin decided, well, nobody's around it. I'll take it and pick up some yardage here, and he did. Took it from the 18 to the 25.
And that's one to grow on. It's something that they got to learn, that anybody can field a punt. So even though the guy who's intended back there to receive the punt, if he doesn't decide to grab it, that won't prevent anybody else from grabbing it. And I don't think anybody focused on him potentially returning that punt.
Now they were kind of nonchalant with that. Now for some reason they're putting the ball back at the 18-yard line.
I'm not sure if he signaled for the fair catch initially.
Well, that's a possibility. If he signaled for the fair catch, then
the ball can't be advanced.
Right. Well, Marcus Martin was not the return man who would have signaled for the fair catch. So, but even though you still can't advance the ball unless it's been touched by Delaware State. Coach Rod Milstead had his discussion with the officials, too, and that's when they decided to put the ball back on the 18-yard line. That's where they'll start off with it. Ramadan hands it off on 1st down to Totten. Totten through the middle, has a little bit of running space. Gets across the 40-yard line to the 42-yard line.
Might be his best run of the day, and he got it done in between the tackles. A shifty runner. Reminds me of Shady McCoy out of the Buffalo Bills. Same type of physical ability, same running style.
End of the 3rd quarter here at Delaware State University. We'll take a timeout as we go to the 4th period. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBC. We'll pass on Valentine's Day. Welcome back to Alumni Stadium. Delaware State leading as we begin the 4th quarter, 21-7 over North Carolina Central. And they have a 1st down from their 42-yard line. They'll give the ball to Isaiah Totten. Totten ahead for 4 yards to the 46. North Carolina Central in this second half been fairly effective at running the ball, and they've been almost forced to do that by the Delaware State defense, which has not allowed the quarterback to set up in the pocket and throw. Delaware State trying to get after this quarterback as well. They'll hand off again to Totten, and the defense penetrating there. Leading the charge for Delaware State, Justin Castell.
The swarm is in effect. The swarm is in effect. This is a prime example of good team defense. A lot of times you don't need to make the tackle. All you need to do is create the pause in the running back's decision-making, and then the support will come up and clean up the rest. And again, the defensive line can't be mentioned enough in today's game because they've done a good job of just pushing that North Carolina Central offensive line back and allowing linebackers and D-backs to make tackles.
Loss of 2 on that play, 3rd down and 2. Ramadan throwing downfield and way past the intended receiver. And again, step-for-step coverage down there by Devin Smith. Do we have a flag on the field? At the 30-yard line. Now they'll throw it back toward the 35-yard line. The coverage was step for step. I saw no contact.
I'm not sure what the play could have been. Yeah, I know what it is now, and they're calling Devin Smith with pass interference.
Oh, man. Unbelievable. It will give a first down to North Carolina Central as they'll move the ball to the Hornets' 41-yard line. Devin Smith just can't believe that they threw a flag.
That's a tough call right there.
It sure is. All right. They gain yardage for Ramadan on the pass interference call. He fakes the handoff, takes it on the quarterback draw up the middle, picks up 8 to the Hornets' 33. Now Ramadan, the second quarterback for North Carolina Central, came in after the second quarter injury to Chauncey Caldwell.
Johnson, Smith, Dupree, 3 down linemen are all in right now.
Ramadan rolls left side, wants to throw, does so downfield. It is complete inside the 20-yard line. Good coverage down there, but that ball was thrown well where nobody could get to it.
Thrown to the back shoulder. Devin Smith on the coverage, never even turned his back to locate the ball, but the receiver did, so he had the advantage.
Tight end Sherman McLeod on the reception at the 20-yard line, 15-yard line, and it is first down for North Carolina Central. This time they go left side. Tyquan Watson eludes one tackle, breaks out of it in the backfield, and carries it ahead for 5 yards, just inside the 10-yard line.
Central showing some real effectiveness on this possession, and our defense has been in for a while, so some of that wear and tear, some of that fatigue is starting to show.
Ramadan handing off on second down, and well, there was no fatigue on the defense that time. They just pushed that offensive line back and got Watson for a loss back to the 6-yard line. Third down and almost it's a long 7.
Right now, Central is in field goal range. All they really need to do, if they don't pick up the first down, is just kind of get that ball more centered to the field and make the attempt that much more easier. But if you're Del State, you know, the goal is to keep them out of the end zone. They can get a field goal, but you don't want to give up 6.
Ramadan straight back, pressure coming, has to scramble, right side, looks, throws, down in the corner, threw it away as he saw nobody open. Hornets have had good defensive secondary coverage all afternoon.
That coupled with pressure up front, that's how you disturb a passing game, and they've really have been on all cylinders as far as pass defense is concerned today. Actually, they've been good against run defense, too. It's just a great performance by that Del State D.
Del State blocked an earlier field goal attempt by Adam Lippy. Eagles rushing the 11th man onto the field. He'll line up there at that right side as a blocker. Lippy to attempt a 28-yard field goal. Got this one up and through the uprights. It is good. That's a 3 points for North Carolina Central, and kind of a victory for the defense. They were able to hold them out of the end zone.
Stiffened up when it was appropriate.
That makes the score 21-10 with 11 and a half minutes left in the game. We'll take a timeout now. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports, and ESPN3. Welcome back to Alumni Stadium. Hornets lead 21-10. Delaware State over North Carolina Central's Eagles in the fourth quarter.
If you're Del State, you've seen that North Carolina Central is willing to take chances, so can't be fooled by the onside or potential onside kick here.
He boots it away, and the Hornets will let this one go into the end zone for the touchback, bring it out to the 25-yard line. Well, Mike Walker, an opportunity here to mention the Hornets family, Delaware State family, lost a nearly 7-decade colleague. Dr. Ulysses Washington passed away on Thursday of this week, father of Channel 3 newscaster Yuki Washington. But really, Mr. Delaware State, he was here for the longest time when it was Delaware State College, then Delaware State University, was actually the football coach here in 1965 and 1966. We extend our sympathies to his family and our respect to Dr. Washington. As we come back to action here, Delaware State, they'll give the ball to Michael Chris Ike, and he'll take it straight ahead for 6 yards to the 31-yard line.
Good power run, but again, Gary, a low snap by center. You know, some of the best catches I've seen today have been by Jack McDaniels out of that quarterback position, and that's not a stat or a fact that I really want to be talking about.
This game may have given some more confidence to Jack McDaniels, too, that he's solidified his position here as the quarterback as they give it to Chris Ike again. And he really works his way out there to the 35-yard line, had to just push tacklers back as he carried the ball and got the first down for the Hornets.
I like Del State, you know, they're playing a little bit cautious right now, not wanting to put the ball up in the air, don't want any turnovers by trying to force the issue. But on the flip side, look, even though you're winning, you really want to try to put an end to this game. You can't take your foot off the gas.
Running plays do eat up more of the clock, that is for sure, but they want to keep this thing going. They'll give it to Chris Ike, and again, that defense now starting to key on him as they hit him at the line of scrimmage. I don't think there's any gain on the play, maybe a half yard.
Centra doing a good job of just inching up, cheating, loading the box, and anticipating run, guessing right. You know, and I know, again, Del State just wants to play controlled football at this point. They're ahead. But, you know, if you're on that offense, you know, you should be dying to get back into the end zone. You know, people have scored enough points on you. It's time for you to score some points on some people.
And the defense is encouraging that offense. They want to stay off the field for a while. McDaniels, pump fake, has a man open, and good defensive coverage, a great recovery as Jackel Taylor came over and broke up the pass, injured on the play. Wide open for Delaware State for a while was Teron Selby, and it looked like it was going to be a big gain as just as the ball got to Selby, so did Jackel Taylor.
Just a choice in trajectory. That ball needed to be maybe released a little bit early and a little bit lower. Sometimes you need to underthrow a receiver and bring him to where he's actually open. So, you know, that pass is actually thrown into coverage.
And I don't think the problem was Taylor making contact with Selby. It looked like he came down when he landed awkwardly and was injured on the play. So he is up and heading to the sideline, but we have a timeout on the field with the Hornets leading 21-10 over the Eagles. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports. At Alumni Stadium, the Delaware State Hornets trying to sustain a drive here. They have 3rd down and 10 from their 35-yard line. Gary Lang and Mike Walker with you as Jack McDaniels drops back. Can't pass the ball. He runs with it and takes it out to the 43-yard line. He's going to come up 2 yards short of the first down. This will be an interesting decision made by head coach Rod Milstead. Does he send out the punting units or do they try for the 2 yards?
All the players are obviously gesturing, go for it. It's 4th and a long 2.
This is a head coach's decision, but they're letting the play clock wind down here while they're making that decision. And they'll send out the punting units. They may have to call a timeout here. There's 6 seconds on the play clock. They'll get hit with a delay of game penalty here before they can punt the ball. And the timeout is called by the sideline just in time. Homecoming fans not happy with this decision to punt the ball. They want to see that offense pick up the first down.
Coach Milstead knows that none of these fans have a place for him to live in the event that he loses his job because of the wrong call. So he's going to go by what the percentages say, and that is punt the ball in this situation.
That's a point to ponder. That you have to make the right call. The fans in the stands don't really have anything to lose if they're wrong. Kind of like how we work, too.
Yeah, that's right, man.
So the Hornets will punt. Or they at least set up to punt. Fidel Romo Martinez, we saw the fake punt earlier by North Carolina Central. Romo Martinez at his 29-yard line to receive the snap. A little bit high, but he pulls it down in a good left-footed kick. Good hang time at the 20-yard line taken in. Eludes one tackler, takes it down to the sideline and runs out of bounds at the 30-yard line. It's E.J. Hicks on the return for North Carolina Central.
On their last possession, Central, a couple of key penalties aided by Delaware State, managed to come away with 3 points on the board. Defense played well, but nonetheless, Central got points on the board. So they get another opportunity to put their offense back on the field. And again, Delaware State's asking their defense to step up and rise to the occasion. This is not a bad North Carolina Central offense. They know how to move the ball down the field. The defense is going to have to dial it up one more time and see if they can stop them.
Quarterback Niall Ramadan on first down, throwing across the middle, incomplete. He was looking for Sherman McLeod, and that ball was missed by McLeod. He got popped, and a late penalty marker thrown.
That's a terrible call right there.
Well, that's really not the first of
call.
the day. So
that one is really bad, though. I mean, that is just basic football contact. You can see just two guys colliding, one man playing his normal position, somebody entering into his zone. Just a bad call.
And unfortunately, it's Jihad Neibauer who made the contact.
Right. So, he doesn't really make our case that strong, but nonetheless, just not a good call on that play.
And now the officials are going to again consult as down here to the side, referee Eric Greenfield, Judge Preston Harding go away from the other officials. Preston Green puts on a headset. And they're going to consult with this, and we've seen this before today. It has resulted in some odd calls. We'll be back here at Delaware State University a week from today with a 2 o'clock kickoff as the Hornets will take on Savannah State.
If they can take care of business with the remaining 8 minutes and 34 seconds in this game, they'll be literally on a one-game winning streak looking to defend that.
We're getting another look at that play on which the penalty was called, and it was really incidental contact, and it was a late flag.
That's just normal football contact when you look at it. Neither guy was knocked off of his feet, and they're both actually still heading in the same directions that they were initially going. So again, I didn't really see any really overly aggressive play, and I don't know if these officials are really just getting hyper sensitive with any type of contact, because I just didn't see what we warrant that flag.
No. We're being told that Savannah State, who we just mentioned, is leading Norfolk State this afternoon.
Trying to snatch Delaware State's shine, because they're another one of those teams that didn't have a victory in the MEAC. So it looks like they're going to come away with their first conference victory. So they'll have to travel further than North Carolina Central did to come down here to the Hornets' nest and get with these Hornets.
Coming up in the week here, the Hornets will have to get Georgia on their minds. That's a 24-3 score, we're told, that Savannah State is leading Norfolk State in the third period. We thought the officials were done with their consultation. Here they come, and we'll get an idea of what's happening here. And they're going to pick up the flag. Mike Walker, that's the third or fourth time today they've picked up a flag. This would be the day to go to dinner with the officiating crew to see if they'll pick up the check, too.
Right. But like the flag, I think they'll drop that as well.
All right, so it's not a penalty. It's second down and 10 from the 30-yard line. Over 2 minutes in that consultation. to make that determination. They'll go with the end around. That's E.J. Hicks around the left side. Downfield across the 50 and knocked out of bounds in front of the North Carolina Central bench right about the 41-yard line. They're going to say he stepped out at the 42.
Nigel Bynum with the WWE clothesline on that particular play. Man, he just stuck that arm out there, didn't he?
Kind of looked like that, didn't it? Yeah, it worked. Here's Totten on the carry. They try to go left side, pick up a couple of yards to the 40. But that defense out there ready for him.
Del State D out there about a little less than 7 minutes, or actually 8 minutes away from their first victory. That defense is still playing inspired football out there. Everybody rushing to where the ball is at.
Well, they've gotten rest periods. They had a couple of minutes of it there where they were able to get a breather. Throw, right side, complete, eluding the tackler and picking up a few yards. He's going to be short of the first down on the quick out to Nike Martin. Martin to the 33. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Isaiah Small looked like he was going to roll up and just deliver all types of pain, and he ended up sliding in to first base on that particular defensive play. Got to come up under control.
Ramadan from the shotgun again. Takes the snap, gives it to Totten. Totten has the first down as he bangs it out close to and across the Delaware State 25-yard line. Down to the 24-yard line, and the Eagles have another first down as they're moving the ball close to scoring range, trying to get it into the red zone.
We've seen this defense give up some yards before, but get real stingy in that red zone. They need to tighten up one more time.
Less than 7 minutes to play. Ramadan throwing into the middle, and it is complete again to Nike Martin. He's down to the 12-yard line.
Bynum on the coverage on that play.
Fans want the defense to stiffen up here. They've spent a lot of time on the field here in this second half. But they haven't been able to get any pressure on Ramadan here the last couple of tries. Again, that quick out to Martin and knocked away by Isaiah Small. That's a nice play by Small.
Small's doing a good job, again, coming up under control, making contact and stripping the ball all in the same play.
Incompleted pass stops the clock and makes it 2nd down and 10. Ramadan looks to his sideline on the far side of the field. Gets the snap, looks, quick drop, and it is almost intercepted in the end zone. The receiver gave up on his pattern, and it should have been picked off in the end zone by Delaware State.
That's Isaiah Small, and if you ever wanted to know why he's on the defensive side of the ball, you know why now. He wasn't meant to catch passes, but he's meant to break them up. And again, good defense on his part. Could have had an interception, but nonetheless, North Carolina Central is looking at a 3rd and 10.
3rd and 10 from the 12-yard line. Ramadan calls for the ball. Here he is. Drops back. 5-step drop. Pressure coming. Rolls right side. Looks downfield. Throws. End zone over the head of the receiver. It'll be 4th down. That defense, with that pressure, flushed him out of the pocket. He was on the run when he threw, and he's not an effective passer when he's moving.
Again, doing a great job of stiffening up when it counts, Gary. And if they have to give up any points, again, this is one of those quote-unquote moral victories where you give up the field goal instead of the touchdown. So, again, great job by that Del State defense today.
Adam Lippy had one blocked in the first half. He made his field goal here in the second half. This time he'll be trying for a 29-yard field goal. Movement on the line.
That's going to be 34.
Yeah, that's going to lengthen the field goal. The Hornets reacting to the movement immediately, and they'll step off the 5. Malik Reynolds called for the infraction. So they lengthen a little bit. Again, that wind not quite as strong as it was earlier in the day, but still coming out of the northwest. Lippy's kick is up, and it is good. Didn't have a lot to it, but it made it and got through the uprights.
Looked like a free throw.
It did have a bit of a lob to it, didn't it? So we have a timeout on the field as the score goes to 21-13. This is MEAC Football on HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports and ESPN. Hornets need to put something together on this drive. They have an 8-point lead here on the campus of Delaware State University in Dover, Delaware. Kind of an overcast afternoon. The rain went away just in time for the homecoming game here in Dover. 8-point lead with 6 minutes left to play. This offense needs to put together a scoring drive and seal the deal. Coach Rod Milstead looking for his first win at Delaware State.
Something big on kickoff return could really change the momentum of the game.
You're not going to have it, as this one will go into the end zone for the touchback. Delaware State will start off from their own 25-yard line.
So you're going to start off with pretty decent field position. They got about 75 yards to travel to hit pay dirt, come away with 6 points, and essentially end this game. They can travel 50 yards, get into field goal range, and again, effectively end this game. But the one thing that both of those scenarios have in common is this offense has to sustain a drive downfield, and they haven't looked as explosive as they have in the first half. So if they want to make a statement, the time is now. The defense has made its contribution. Special teams, they've made their contribution. Offense, it's your time to make a contribution.
Need to use up a lot of that clock and not put the defense back on the field so soon. They've done a great job today, but they've been worked out. Bryson Aline gets the call. No gain to the 25-yard, back to the 25-yard line.
So it's a run. The only advantage on that play is that the clock will continue to tick off. But again, they need a first down. The touchdown is not even the goal right now. They just got to pick up another first down.
Taking their time coming up to the line of scrimmage here and getting things underway.
Can't blame them. Obviously, Del State's really trying to engineer a victory at this point instead of aggressively trying to just outscore this team.
Aline, again, gets the call, and he'll lose a yard. Makes it 3rd down and 11. They're not listening to you, Mike.
I think they're listening to the percentages. You know, if they can just allow enough time to tick off and rely on the defense, they're thinking they can win this the way that the Ravens won their first Super Bowl, defensively.
And North Carolina Central is going to call a timeout here and try to save some of the clock for themselves.
3rd and 11. We've seen Del State pick up big yards on plays early in the first half, and you know they got to rely on Jack McDaniels at some point to back up in that pocket, look downfield, and release that ball and pick up, 12 yards on a play. If he's got it in him, he's got to show it to him right now, because if they can pull off a first down right now, that would be a huge blow to North Carolina Central.
McDaniels had a great first half, 10 of 18 for 102 yards. Here in the second half, he's missed his last 7 passes.
He's got a couple of targets that he likes. He does like Trey Gross. He likes Kawana Colley. And he even likes tight end Isaiah Williams. He's got to get it to one of them.
They give it to Aline. He tries to sweep around right side. Has the first down to the 40, 45. He's broken into the secondary. He's down to the 30, 20-yard line, 10-yard line, 5. Touchdown, Bryson Aline.
There it is. There it is.
76 yards for Bryson Aline, and that seals the deal.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've turned the corner on Delaware State Hornets, their problems, their passions, the future. I think we just turned the corner on the program today.
Today gives us an indication of what is to come with this football team. The longest play of the season for Delaware State. A 76-yard touchdown run by Bryson Aline, and the extra point kick is through the uprights.
What a huge play. You know, at the end of the day, some things can't be scripted up, can't be on the scoreboard. Somebody's got to make something happen.
He did that on a third down and 11 situation. So officially, it's a 76-yard scoring drive. He gets credit for a 75-yard scoring drive. He gets credit for a 76-yard touchdown.
Right. Truly amazing. You know, what better time than homecoming? I tell you, stars are born on homecoming, and this guy just elevated himself. He literally lifted his name off of the ground and put it up in there with the stars that are represented here at Delaware State University.
Something really fantastic to see on the sideline. This coaching staff has really had to hold it together through the first 7 weeks of the season and maintain their composure and their poise. And we've seen times when they could have really lost it. I just saw two coaches embrace each other after that. They know what they've accomplished here today just because they stuck to it. Hornets to kick off. Less than 5 minutes left in the game. Maybe the only problem is that Delaware State scored too quickly there. That ball will be picked up at the 12-yard line. One tackle missed. Still on his feet, Chance Kennedy takes it around the left side out to the 30-yard line.
Good pursuit by the kickoff team. You know, didn't make the clean tackle when they had a shot at him, but they got him to run horizontally instead of vertically, and again, that provides opportunities for support defenders to come in. So a great play by them by not allowing the big return.
North Carolina Central will take it over here, 1st and 10 at their own 31-yard line. They have plenty of time to try to get downfield and put some points on the board, but the Hornets made the hole a little bit deeper to have to climb out of. It's Ramadan passing, short pass on the screen, left side. They pick up maybe 3 or 4 yards on the completion.
And that tackle was on the field. Didn't get out of bounds, so that clock should still be running.
Nike Martin on the catch. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7. Niall Ramadan again throwing. It is incomplete. Through the hands of his receiver. That stops the clock. Chance Kennedy, the target on that one. Short pass like that one just ripped through his hands. This would be a big stop for this Hornet defense on 3rd down.
A 3 and out and putting that offense back on the field would be huge, because when they go back out there, there's zero pressure. I would expect them to try to put more points on the board.
Ramadan from the shotgun, quick pass again, complete, left side, 1st down, knocked out of bounds after making the catch is Nike Martin.
Kewan Selby on the coverage on that play.
Martin knocked out of bounds at the 44-yard line and managed to stop the clock after the completion. Ramadan, deep drop this time, throwing again across the middle, and this time it's dropped by Sherman McLeod, the tight end.
McLeod could have easily picked up a 1st down had he been able to maintain control of that pass, but I don't know if he was looking downfield to see about picking up extra yardage or if he just never really had control of it, but it's a drop pass and, you know, a positive situation for this Del State D.
2nd down and 10 for the Eagles. Ramadan, a little bit of time this time, throwing downfield. It is going to be incomplete. Diving for the ball and trying to make the catch. Nike Martin down inside the Hornets' 30-yard line, but it was just thrown a bit too far inside. He couldn't get to it. Dove, couldn't make it. And looks like he was shaken up a bit on the play. Might have knocked the wind out of himself when he dove on this turf.
2 plays were hurt. Kevon Selby ran off the field, too.
Yeah, he had the same thing happen.
coverage.
He was on the coverage and had the same thing. They both hit the ground pretty hard. 3rd and 10. Ramadan, quick drop, up, pump fake, throwing, broken up, incomplete. Jawine Granger for Delaware State breaking up that pass. 4th and 10. North Carolina Central forced to go for it here. If they give the ball back to Delaware State, they'll never see it again. And down by 15. Hornets drop back the defenders, but they've got a rush on. Ramadan rolls right side, throws, and way too low. Hit about 4 yards in front of his receiver, Tyler Barnes. They'll turn it over on downs to Delaware State at the North Carolina Central 44-yard line. With 3 minutes, 24 seconds left in the game, Hornets really do have an opportunity to run that score up a little bit.
You know, more importantly, Gary, they're in control right now, and if they can just secure 1 first down, this 3:24 might all just be cosmetic, because right now, essentially, it's a done deal. They just got to find a way to get the rest of these seconds and minutes off of the clock.
So the first key is get a first down.
The second key is?
Get another one.
Get another one, that's right.
And then you can get it down inside that time where it doesn't matter, and you just run the clock out.
Don't know what the attitude is on North Carolina Central side of the ball. I'm sure there's a lot of pride over there, but if it's not, I think Del State can take advantage of that.
Handoff to Bryson Aline on first down. He, initial contact at the line of scrimmage, managed to pop it out to the right side and pick up a couple of yards.
Central doing a good job of squeezing down those holes inside the tackles, forcing Eileen to bounce it outside. And just on ability alone, he picked up about 2.5, maybe 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, they're going to call it 2 to the 42-yard line. 2nd down and 8. I think the temperature is dropping pretty quickly here at Delaware State University this afternoon. Temperatures started out in the 50s. I don't think they're there anymore.
Whatever the temperature is, let's record it, because we're going to take it with us for the remainder of the games that we have to play.
It's going to feel pretty good. It's down in the 40s now. Aline again gets the carry, and maybe a yard, or maybe just back to the line of scrimmage. Not a whole lot more than that.
A QB keeper could be available. They could be expecting to run inside the tackles, and they could just pick up another first down. Essentially, this game would be over.
Third down and 8 now for Delaware State. This is a big third down here. They can keep control of this game if they can pick it up as we get down to the 2-minute mark. Taking their time, too, not making sure they try to use as much of this clock as they can. 5 seconds on the play clock. McDaniels takes the snap, 1 second on the play clock as he takes it. Aline takes it around the left side. They haven't run that much to the left side today. He gets to the 40-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and 6. With the ball at the North Carolina Central 40-yard line, and the Eagles call timeout to save some clock, stopping it with 1:43 left. I want to remind everybody that the final week of the season, November 17th, Delaware State is at home, and they play Virginia University Lynchburg in football that day. We'll be here to give you that game, but we're mentioning it because it's a doubleheader day. Not long after the end of the football game, we'll be over in Memorial Hall with our first basketball game of the season at 7 p.m. as James Madison comes in to test the Delaware State women. And we had a chance to talk to new head coach David Caputo at halftime. and he feels like this Hornet team may look pretty good this year.
He's got an opportunity to build on something here. There are a lot of people who are in position to get behind women's basketball. I think he's got some assets that he's going to be able to utilize.
Hornets go for it on 4th down and 6 here. Nothing really to lose by going for it. It's about the point where they got the ball. McDaniels now, again, using up as much clock as he can, gives it to Bryson Aline, dives into the middle, stopped, no gain on the play. Hornets will turn it over on downs. So we now have 1:39 to play. North Carolina Central will get one more opportunity.
And attempting to try to, manage the time that is left. Del State has forced North Carolina Central to use a couple of timeouts at a very critical moments in the remaining 6 minutes of the game. So they're not going to have a whole lot of timeouts to rely on. This defense, all they need to do is keep them in front of them and force them to use as much time to move the ball.
North Carolina Central with one timeout left. Throwing, they go long downfield, and it's thrown short of the receiver. I think we just saw the limit of Ramadan's arm, too.
Right.
He had a receiver down there, double coverage, step for step with the receiver, but that one just came up well short. Receiver couldn't get back to it. Incomplete pass stops the clock. Now we have 1:34.
Central's just going to go for home runs pretty much in all their plays.
That's what they have to do. Ramadan, a little bit of pressure, throwing across the middle, almost intercepted. It went through the hands of Nike Martin and right to Kyle Taylor, the linebacker. And Kyle Taylor, I think, was surprised by that. And check that, it wasn't Kyle Taylor, Jawan Granger. Just surprised by that and didn't have the opportunity to react and pull it in.
A freebie if he was just paying attention or looking for that ball, but he wasn't. He was focused on his coverage.
That would have made a big difference. Here Ramadan on 3rd down and 10. Has a little bit of time again. Goes home run hunting and is incomplete. Nike Martin downfield. And this time he overthrew Nike Martin. It's 4th down. These incomplete passes continue to stop the clock. Now we have 1:23 left in the game.
It's going to be a huge victory for Delaware State, for their psyche. They won this game the right way. It actually wasn't as close as the score appears.
Ramadan on 4th down. Throwing over the middle. It is going to be incomplete. Taken away. It's intercepted by Delaware State on the pickoff. Downfield to the 30-yard line, 25-yard line. Picked off by Delaware State, and that's the way to put a finish to the contest.
Looked like Andrew Reese got a hand in there, a hit and a hand at the same time, and literally snatched that ball from him.
Now, we do have a penalty marker on the return, so that's going to bring it back a little bit, but that's a big hit by Reese as he takes the ball away from the receiver, and then we'll have an illegal block in the back most likely on the way down field or a holding call. But that doesn't matter where the ball ends up. It'll be Delaware State ball with 1:09 left. They can run out the clock.
Just a huge play by Andrew Reese.
Illegal block in the back is the call. They actually had 2 penalties on the play, and I'm not sure what they both were. But they'll step it off from the point of infraction. That'll put the ball back to the Delaware State 45-yard line after the penalty and the yardage. But that's okay. They can run out the clock with 1:09 left and come out of here with a victory this afternoon, their first of the season, and what a day to pick up to do it. Homecoming, that's when you win.
There's a whole bunch of witnesses in the stands to see what happened today. And again, it's the way that they won, Gary. They're going to understand there's a relationship with emotion, right, and execution. We haven't seen that this season. We've seen guys who've been struggling to execute. Today, they brought a lot of emotion into the game, and I think that was the difference.
They go down into the kneel-down offense. McDaniels takes it, kneels down at the 40-yard line to make it second down. And North Carolina Central, I think, just used their final timeout. And Coach Rod Milstead just got his first Gatorade bath from his team, and he's loving it.
He tried to duck it, but, hey, no one gets away from the Gatorade. Nobody, baby.
Oh, did he really want to? Did he really want to avoid that one? He's avoided that one too many times this season. He wanted that bath today. And he had the biggest smile on his face when he got it, too. You get that bath when you win.
You know, he's taking his hat off right now to everybody who's in the stands, but I take my hat off to him because he's got this phrase he keeps telling everybody, it's trust the process. He's really trying to establish the type of program that everybody would be proud to be a part of, not only as a player, but to be associated with. The way they travel, the way they practice, the way they handle everything. It's just a first-class operation.
Took his hat off and walked over, gave it to one of the fans. Another kneel down by McDaniels to bring up third down. What's it matter? Because the clock is running. They just have to do this one more time, and then everybody can walk off the field. They fought through this game, sometimes almost physically. But they really put out the effort this afternoon, and they're now going to be able to enjoy the fruits of their labors. One more kneel down needed by Jack McDaniels, and he gets it. And that will cover it as time will run out. 20 seconds still left, but the Hornets, there's going to be a lot of celebrating on this campus in Dover, Delaware this evening.
We haven't seen this excitement on this campus since 2014 because that's the last time we won a homecoming game. And if Delaware State wanted to indicate to the fans that things are changing or change has come, I think they announced it with this game today.
Hornets come away with a win, 28-13 over North Carolina Central. A big win. Jack McDaniels' effective first half. Didn't throw the ball that much in the second half, but when he did, I'm not sure he had any completions in the second half, but he got the job done in the first half. But the running game, and Bryson Aline finally broke the big one, a 76-yard touchdown run, and that put the lid on the coffin.
It sure did. And I think what it really did was change the attitude of this team, and maybe the focus, Gary, because now they're defending a winning streak for God knows the first time in how long. So when they have Savannah State travel down here next week, they have the emotional edge. They have the upper edge. They beat a very good team. North Carolina Central currently is ranked 4th in the MEAC, but they're really 3rd, if you want to know the truth, because they beat Howard earlier this season. So they're a better team than Howard is. The only reason why Howard is ranked 3rd is because they have an additional MEAC win. But as far as MEAC wins are concerned, guess who has one now? Your Delaware State Hornets.
And it felt good. It felt good to us here in the press box. We know what this team did all season, and on television they get a look at that beautiful touchdown run by the freshman running back for Delaware State, Chris Ike, who turned it loose today and showed everybody what the future of Hornets football could look like with him in that backfield. And then the touchdown pass, just everything worked. Passing, running. They blocked a field goal in the first half. That defense did not give the Eagles quarterbacks time to throw the ball. And North Carolina Central came in here noted as a team that had fairly good passing. They just didn't have the opportunity today.
That offensive line by the North Carolina Central Eagles was just overwhelmed by the front three of Delaware State. So we got to give special recognitions to those guys that I'm talking about. Christian Johnson, Isaiah Williams, Moses Dupree. They wreaked havoc in the first half of the game and essentially didn't allow them the ability to set up or establish a passing game. And once that crumbled, they over-relied on the run game, and that's when you started to see some of the run support from that second and third level, some of those big hits, some of that team defense. And I think mentally and emotionally, they literally took North Carolina Central out of the game early in the game.
We're going to leave our television audience. We're going to stay with radio here, but all games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live, archived on the ESPN app. You can look at it anytime this week. This has been a presentation of ESPN.